This is the Buzz Adams Morning Show podcast. Barstool Talk Daily. Except it's really early in the morning and no booze. For the most part.
Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a town square media station.
You leave the week behind. Now it's Friday, it's the weekend time. I'll tell you, you'll be fooling around. You can cut loose from the daily grind. Fridays are grooving. Time to get moving. Your weekends, we can all go wild. It's time for fun to start. The weekend, you will all be finding pleasure with your time off.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
Buzz is back.
It's about time.
Only on KLAQ.
Thank you so much. Good morning and welcome to the show, everybody, for this Friday morning. We are underway. It's the Buzz Adams Morning Show here for your Friday. And we've got a lot coming up on today's show. The Democratic National Convention wrapped up last night. I didn't see as much of last night as I had seen of some of the previous nights. And we're about to start the weekend. It's not far off now.
It's the pre-kin.
It is the pre-kin. Good morning, Joanna Barba.
Good morning to you.
Let's get a look at El Paso weather and the golfers forecast brought to you by Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. It's going to continue to be hot, triple digits, it looks like, for the weekend. And not much in the way of rain, maybe a spot or two here and there on Saturday or Sunday, but nothing very substantial as far as rain goes. It's mostly going to be sunny. 102 the high temperature for Friday, 101 for Saturday, and right around 100 for Sunday. As I say, any rain chances are going to be under 10%, and they're just going to be scattered around for the weekend. But it is clear for golf. Golfers' forecast is hot, but you're probably not going to get rained on. And El Paso weather brought to you by Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. You can set up all your tee times and reservations online at painteddunes.com. That's painteddunes.com, or call the Pro Shop. They'll set you up at 915-821-2122. That's 915-821-2122 for Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. The Dallas Cowboys are going to be on KLAQ tomorrow, and we start our broadcast at 1 o'clock with the Cowboys pregame show, bringing you every game, including the preseason and hopefully a postseason of Dallas Cowboys football on El Paso's radio home for Cowboys football, 95.5 KLAQ. Dallas Cowboys are playing their final preseason game. It's their only preseason game on their home field, and they're going to be taking on the LA Chargers. Dallas Cowboys football in the Q is brought to you by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. 915 Tours and Border City Ale House. Border City Ale House, the home of the 600 ESPN El Paso Monday night football watch parties. The regular season gets underway, and for the Cowboys, that's Sunday, September 8th. Cowboys at Cleveland. It's coming up sooner than you think. So next weekend, I guess, is going to be a 3-day weekend. It'll be the Labor Day weekend. Yeah. Kind of snuck up on you, didn't it?
It did.
All right. A week from Monday is the Labor Day holiday. I have an update on the officer-involved shooting at Franklin High School that caused Franklin High School to be to let out classes yesterday. They did not have classes at Franklin High School. So here is the update. A man in his 50s was fatally shot by an EPISD officer at Franklin High School. That resulted in classes being canceled at Franklin. The shooting happened before 6 a.m. yesterday when an EPISD police department officer responded to a report of an incident on the perimeter of the high school.
Oh, my.
According to EPISD Police Chief Manuel Chavira, he said, "We want to assure the public that the incident was isolated to Franklin High School in the early morning hours. It did not affect any students, faculty, or staff. All other district campuses are safe and secure." Mm-hmm. The man died. He's in his 50s, and really they're not giving a whole lot of details beyond that. Like what was he doing?
What was going on at that time, that early
Says
on a high school campus?
The only students on campus were cross-country athletes, but they were not near the area where the shooting took place. All other EPISD schools remained open Thursday, and classes at Franklin are back to normal today. The shooting at Franklin High School is believed to be the first fatal shooting involving an EPISD police officer. And really, they're not given too many details other than that. So now school was out at Franklin yesterday. Good morning, Nico and Jimmy, as they say in radio.
Do they?
Yeah, you
say good morning, and then the person's name.
Their full name.
Their full name?
Yeah, so you establish who you're talking to.
Remember when you used to introduce Nico and give like a whole rundown of things? Like
That would be
Nico
nice.
Jimin, local comedian. You can follow him on X, formerly Twitter. I don't know where else.
everywhere.
Plenty of fish.
I
J-Date.
used to love it when you did that.
I don't know where Nico hangs out online anymore. Give me a list. If you want an
CD
intro,
places.
I'll do an intro for you.
Yeah. Do me an intro.
Well, let me know what you want me to say. You got to have. Okay, so tonight you are going to have the open mic, but before the open mic, there's actually going to be professional comics performing at Scenics, right?
Yes.
Okay,
we're going
tell
to
us about
have
that.
a really good show. A little bit shorter than normal, about an hour to an hour and a half. And it's going to feature two of the best comics in El Paso, Otis Hicks and Anthony Perez, and myself. I do that sometimes because I know people are going to criticize either way. So I could have just said Anthony Perez. But then people will be like, "Oh, you're just
faking.
You're just faking it."
Yeah.
So then I could go, "All right, we're going to have Anthony Perez," and then they're going to be like, "Well, now you sound like an idiot," and then I'll be hosting.
It might be your fate to sound like an idiot. It might just be something you.
It might be
you have to
our
learn.
fate.
That Kevin Costner movie that I guess got bad reviews or didn't do well at the box
it didn't do well, but I haven't really read reviews about it.
It is.
Like, does it suck?
It's out on streaming today. We had a caller
It's
that
on
said that they
Max.
saw it. Yeah, it's streaming on Max. It's Kevin Costner's ambitious Western, Horizon, an American Saga. Chapter 1. Despite all rumor and speculation, Beyonce did not make a surprise appearance at the final night of the Democratic National Convention. Her music was used when Kamala Harris went to the stage, but Beyonce was not there. Her rep says she was never scheduled to attend.
How'd that rumor? I guess people on the internet say it, and then everybody starts to believe it.
Yeah, it was. I guess it was some of the buzz going around was, hey, Beyonce's going to pop in here.
How does that
and make a
happen? I
surprise
say a
appearance.
lot of things on the internet and
I don't
it
believe
never
all
picks
of them.
up.
Right.
Like Buzz made out with a hot dog. That hasn't picked up at all.
No.
Buzz
Where's the
made
critical
out
mass?
with a hot dog. What does that mean?
You made out with a hot dog.
You ate a wiener, dude. It's all right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, right. You never watched Mean Girls.
Yeah, but I didn't memorize the
Right,
script.
yeah.
She made out with a wiener.
You made out with a hot dog.
Gretchen Wiener.
Buzz is a fat virgin. That's still half true.
One of those things is still true.
Good morning.
Well, we've got a lot to talk about today. We're gonna have a true crime report coming up in about an hour, and around that same time frame, Joanna's going to have our Hollywood Cheese Main, our entertainment report for today. What do we have going on with the Hollywood Cheesemate today, Joanna?
Well, we are going to talk about a show called Dance Moms, A New Era,
Oh, boy.
and how a new routine did not go over well.
It seemed to be poorly conceived and in bad taste.
Oh, have you heard of this?
Was it
I just read about it in the
You
prep
just read
this
about it?
morning.
Was
Oh,
it
it's in the prep.
sexualized or?
It was
Well,
inappropriate
it was
for a
very
number of
inappropriate.
reasons, but that is kind of...
Aside from the show being Dance Moms. And,
That's their brand, right? Like,
yeah. And it...
wasn't one of the dance moms like a horrible... or the teacher or somebody
yeah, like the
everybody
teacher
hated?
ended up being, I don't know, a convicted felon or something.
Weren't they
But
horrible?
like
But
abusing
we're
the
gonna
kid.
Yeah, I think so. So this is a bunch of 10-year-olds, and we're going to talk about how one of the child dancers,
One of the
did a
childs.
John Benet Ramsey routine.
Like a tribute to John Benet Ramsey?
Yes.
Oh my God. That sounds terrible.
Even worse, she only got fourth place. I'll let you know all this in entertainment news, especially when I find out what the hell is Dance Moms A New Era.
Hey, you were talking about Buzz eating a hot dog.
Yes, making
And-
out with hot dogs.
I actually did do something similar to that for the show.
You made out with a hot dog?
No, not a hot dog. Pot me up.
All right, go.
Good morning, Mosto. Hey, Buzz. Hey, Joanna.
Hi.
Hey, guys. I accidentally saw the video of Nico eating the taco erotically. I had like a game or something.
God.
Everything else was cool about that bit. But when I saw Nico eat his taco, it was a little disturbing, I must say. Anyways, have a great day, guys. Love y'all. Bye-bye.
You weren't the demographic for that. We need more women to see that one.
We had an erotic taco eating contest. This does
Look,
not
Buzz
sound
doesn't even
familiar
remember.
at all.
Oh, Buzz's
I remember,
memory
yeah.
erases. Like he still thinks he's like a year removed from high school or something, or college. Like it just kind of erases.
Anything from like after 1984, just
Right.
My mind is like if somebody had one video cassette, but they wanted to record something
Over
every
and
day.
over on it, right.
But you only have the one.
Yeah. Yes,
Like,
we did
This is all got to go out the window to be replaced by new information.
We did an erotic taco eating contest
remember.
in the green room here.
God.
And it was filmed, and
Nico was the clear winner.
I was the
He knows how to
clear
eat
winner.
a taco.
Like professionally. Like people would pay me.
Like, ladies, you should check out the video of Nico eating a taco.
No
This is-
crumbs, right?
He left no crumbs.
Mrs.
He ate.
Adjective.
Mrs. Adjective is out
Nico,
there somewhere.
speaking of news, what's coming up in the news today?
I assume we're only going to be talking about the end of the Democratic National Convention and Kamala Harris's first speech as the Democratic nominee officially for president.
We will have some of that audio even coming up in today in sound clips on the way in just a few minutes.
A couple of things, though. Donald J. Trump was live tweeting the whole thing like a goddamn insane person.
Yeah. He gets some good zingers in.
No, he looked crazy and sounded crazy. And then this, I got to find this.
They really seem sidelined right now, don't they? The MAGA crowd. I mean, it seems
Yeah.
like the campaign seems quiet. It seems subdued. It seems like their heart's not really in it anymore.
They're having a hard time refocusing.
Yeah.
And what's just hilarious.
Well, you can only refocus so much when you've got a candidate who's, got to stick with what he likes to do, which is insult and name
and
call.
do what he wants to. He seems older, though, to me. Older
It
and
seems like because he's no longer running against Biden, all of a sudden he aged like 20 years.
yeah.
Which is about the difference. He's about 20 years older than Kamala Harris.
On Fox News, he went on right after her speech ended so he could give his live reactions. And he started rambling. Britt Hume had to cut him
Britt
off.
Hume had to cut him off
And-
on Fox News.
And then as they cut him off, they were like, wow, he's still going.
No.
Yeah, I swear to God. I have to find this clip.
All right, we'll have today in sound clips coming up. If you're able to find that one, you can throw that one in there. We'll be back with today in sound clips and get the show underway fully. Well, we're already underway. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to have tickets for the Sunday night show, Lamb of God, Mastodon, special guest Carrie King of Slayer, and Malevolence, all at the El Paso County Coliseum. And we have our final pair of tickets to give away for that show. It's Sunday at the County Coliseum. Your tickets for that coming up this morning on the Buzz Adams Morning Show.
The Daily Calendar.
Today, August 23rd.
It's National Cuban Sandwich Day. Started as a newspaper writer's joke in Tampa Bay in 2016, but it's stuck ever since. And with good reason. They're delicious. Love it or hate it, it's also National Coconut Week. Sorry, hate it. Personally, don't love it. But it keeps castaways alive, so. And it's cheap flight day for those end-of-season travel deals. And that's your Daily Calendar.
Hey, it's Chuck, and tonight on Loudwire.
Flexibility and help you go back to school successfully. So, what are you waiting for? Apply today at wgu.edu.
Local and loco.
Don't you know I'm loco?
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, 95.5 KLAQ.
Army couldn't hold me back. They're gonna rip it off, taking their time right behind my back. And I'm talking to myself at night because I can't forget. Back and forth through my mind behind a cigarette. And a message coming from my eyes says leave it alone. Don't wanna hear about it. Every single one's got a story to tell. Everyone knows about it. From the Queen of England to the hounds of hell. And if I catch it coming back my way, I'm gonna serve it to you. And that ain't what you want to hear, but that's what I'll do. And the feeling coming from my bones says find a I'm going to Wichita, far from this opera forevermore. I'm gonna work the straw, make the sweat drip out of every pore. And I'm bleeding and I'm bleeding and I'm bleeding right before the Lord. All the words are gonna bleed from me, and I will think no more. And the stains coming from my blood tell me go back home.
.95.5 KLAQ and Seven Nation Army from the White Stripes. We've got tickets for Sunday's metal show at the County Coliseum with Lamb of God and Malevolence is going to be part of the lineup. Mastodon and Kerry King of Slayer, all performing Sunday at the County Coliseum. We got another pair of tickets to give away this morning. Just be listening for your chance to win. And later today, you could go out and join Glenn Garza at a bar. That sounds like a lot of fun for a Friday.
What, like that's just his normal drinking spot? Or
maybe, but
a remote?
He's going to be at 480's Bar and Grill at 480 Talbot Avenue this afternoon, 5 to 7. As together with Yingling Flight, we continue raising a toast to the 100 ways to celebrate summer. And today it's all about way number 63 to celebrate summer, backyard barbecues. Grilling and chilling is made even cooler with a cold, crisp, refreshing Yingling Flight. Yingling Flight raised the bar with the next generation of light beer. And he's going to have giveaways. You can come by and win some Yingling caps, shirts, a 5-piece professional griddle set, lawn dart set. I thought they made those illegal because kids were throwing them and they landed in their head. The lawn darts, they must have made them safe somehow, right? We have a portable cornhole kit you could win, all courtesy of the Q. So come out. Glenn's going to have a lot of great stuff to give away as we celebrate the 100 ways to celebrate summer this Friday at 480's Bar and Grill at 480 Talbot in Yingling Flight. Let me give you a quick preview of Loudwire Nights on Sunday. Since the Cowboys are playing on Saturday, that's not going to interfere with Q Connected on Sunday. Let me get things straight here. Q Connected is our Sunday show that focuses on new rock, the newest stuff available, and a special focus and spotlight on area bands, borderland bands. This Sunday, Q Connected is going to be featuring a former Street Fest band, Starset, something new from Starset. You'll also hear the new song from The Warning and hear borderland bands All Way Drive, Bloomwave, Father Wolf, and Bridges of Blaze. Those are just a few of the local and regional bands that are going to be featured this Sunday for Q Connected. It's 2 hours of nothing but new rock and a special focus on area rock. Sundays 5 to 7 on 95.5 KLAQ. Got our sound clip standing by. We also have a true crime report coming up a bit later. Joanna's got the Hollywood Cheesemay on the way this morning. But before we go any further, why don't we go ahead and get into those sound clips?
And now, Today in Sound Clips.
All of the day's news with accompanying sound bites and actualities. An apartment complex in Texas is trying to charge a dead woman $15,000 for breaking her lease. She broke the lease when she died.
Well, she knew what she was getting into when she signed that contract.
Should have thought of that before she died.
Should have thought of that before you died. An apartment complex billed a woman $15,000 after she passed away. The family told the management, hey, she died, and that's why she's no longer living there, but they still billed them for unpaid rent, along with an additional fee for breaking the lease. We have some audio here from the family. Her son is David Natterman, and here he is talking about this apartment complex that's charging a dead woman.
The fact that they're attacking, coming after the next of kin, who, quite honestly, we loved our mom and we're still grieving, and all they care about is the money. And we went to the apartment complex, spoke with the leasing manager. He told us that he would use the security deposit towards the cleaning and turning over the apartment, and that they would terminate the lease. They want the rest of the about a year's long worth of rent from a dead person.
All right, you might have had this in News Nugs yesterday, but I have some audio to go along with it. A woman in New Jersey was caught on video at a zoo sticking her hand into a tiger cage and almost getting it bitten off. The tiger missed, Here's a zoo employee talking about what the woman did.
A visitor decided to climb our safety visitor fence and attempt to pet the tiger. And it just was very careless, a very careless action. I hope that the individual recognizes how lucky they were to still be, have all of their limbs.
God, how good am I at picking out news before you?
Wow, you really beat me to that one. Congratulations. An Uber driver in California is being accused of saying sexual things to a passenger and showing lewd pictures to her.
Uh-oh.
Here is the victim's friend, Maribel Aguilar, talking about what the Uber driver is accused of doing.
It's been very traumatic for her. Next thing, he's talking to her about sexual things he wants to do to her. So she starts feeling uncomfortable. My heart sunk to my stomach. She was calling me not only to tell me about what happened, but also to warn me because my daughter takes Uber every day to work as well.
Oh.
Do the Uber drivers
Uber
talk
driver?
to you?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, not all the time.
Not all the time.
The Tennessee State Fair has a tradition. They have a husband calling competition, which is similar, I guess, to a pig calling competition. But wives...
Where they go like, so...
Yeah, that's for the pigs. And maybe for the husbands. Wives do their best husband calls. Here are a few of the contestants. The last woman you're going to hear is calling her husband Gino. And it doesn't say if she's the winner, but she sounds like the winner.
Wake up! I hear something outside. Can you get up and find out what it is? Get that snow shovel!
There's the husband calling contest, a proud volunteer state tradition at the Tennessee State Fair.
Mine would just be cheek clapping.
Do you know who a rapper or a singer, one or the other, named Juvenile is?
Yeah.
Why is that silly that I would...
Do you know
who a
the
rapper...
hip-hopper or rapper known as
Juvenile. That's somebody that everybody's familiar with?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Although, he's pretty senior at this point. He's not so juvenile anymore.
Juvenile stormed off a plane after he was told that he and his wife had to move back to coach from business class. They asked him to change seats while flying with his wife to his show in Dallas.
They asked him to back that ass up.
Well, Juvenile started recording when they informed him of his downgrade, and he wasn't having it. So
that was very good.
Here's Juvenile's reaction.
They tried to take me out of first class.
Where are you trying to put him at?
Gotta put him in coach.
Oh, no.
You ain't putting me in no coach, man.
Absolutely.
You ain't putting me in no coach, man.
Absolutely not.
This ain't never happened to me in my life.
These are our seats.
Man,
We got
y'all
on our
tripping.
tickets that say 1A.
I'm a celebrity. I'm telling you, this is going to be repercussions. It's going to be repercussions to this. Because I'm going to get off the plane. I'm going to get off the plane. I'm not going to let y'all disrespect me like that. I'm not going to let y'all choose me out of all the people on the plane and disrespect me. So I'm going to get off the plane. No. I'm going to get off the plane.
American Airlines explained, quote, an unplanned change in aircraft type affected his seat assignment and that they had spoken to him personally to resolve the situation.
What? That doesn't make sense, does it?
What?
Well, their explanation makes no sense.
Yeah, it sounds like airline BS to me. You pay for a ticket.
That's your seat. Well, switching aircraft type.
But I thought his behavior was, I'm trying to think of a word for it, kind of childish, not like a grown-up. There's got to be a word for how Juvenile was behaving. Help me out here.
Juvenile?
Yeah, Juvenile. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Joanna.
You did it just to get it over with. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Because he didn't laugh at my back that ass up joke.
Oh, he didn't get
I
it.
didn't get it. Honestly.
Yeah, he didn't get that one for sure.
A woman has earned 2 Guinness World Records for most tattoos and most body modifications. Yeah, just as I suspected. Here is Esperance Luminesca Ferzina talking about her Guinness-worthy body modifications.
The percentage of my body covered in tattoos is 99.98%. Probably one of the riskiest mods I have is the sclera tattooing. That was a pretty intense modification. I've also done ink staining in my tongue and my gums, as well as splitting my tongue, obviously. And then I have the 5 implants in my face that were done over 3 sessions in Phoenix, Arizona.
All right.
Go back to her picture. Can you zoom in on the picture or no?
No, it looks like that's about as... Well, there you go. There's a little more.
Because when she said the sclera, that's her eyes. So I guess her eyes got tattooed.
Oh, is that what she said?
Yeah.
The sclera.
Yeah.
Doesn't your skin need to breathe a little bit, though? Haven't I heard stories about, like, Yakuza bosses who need, like, to be on dialysis because they're...
liver transplants, usually.
Liver transplants.
That's because they get hepatitis from their tattoos.
Why? Because they have so many?
No, just the practices of tattooing. Sometimes, like usually theirs are the traditional Japanese style. So I'm not sure the cleaning is the same or the sterility.
We're probably making a wise choice if we break here and come back and cover the DNC in the next segment. So do 2 segments of Today in Sound Clips, okay? But in honor of the most tattooed woman and look, she's just got like bumps under her skin. It looks like there's bumps under her skin.
Look, her tongue is forked.
Her tongue is forked.
That's 2 little points. Actually, that might be awesome.
Okay. Well, congratulations to this lady.
Sure.
Yeah, congrats.
You're in the Guinness Book of World Records.
You and your snake husband will be very happy.
She kind of looks like that one dude that comes in here every couple of years or so.
Oh, yeah.
Enigma.
He's super nice.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Enigma. Congratulations, lady. You are the most tattooed person in the world.
They say we're young and we don't know. We won't find out until we're old. Well, I don't know and I don't care. I paid the man and sat down in the chair. Babe, I'm tattooed, babe. I'm tattooed, babe. I covered up all my pimples. Look what I did to my nipples. You got one below your zipper. Now I look just like a stripper. This tattoo, it really hurt. I bet it did. It's on your bird. All my scars are now connected. Tell me if this looks infected. Ow. Ow. I'm all blue, babe.
We'll have audio from the DNC coming up in just a moment. Part 2 of Today in Sound Clips is coming up right after this.
The heat's no joke. It is so hot outside. It's so hot. Have you ever had your fingernails sweat?
Dial, thanks to Chiba Hut's Back to School Weekend. 2 locations in town, east on Zaragoza, west off Sunburn Park. Order online at chibahut.com.
Where's the party?
This is the party.
Wake up, El Paso. Buzz Adams is back.
It's a great party.
95.5 KLAQ, El Paso.
Hello, everyone. It is Friday. The weekend's almost here. It's definitely the pre-kin. Hello. Hola. Did you like that?
I thought that was good.
We had a lot of calls about the last story we had about Juvenile being asked to move from I guess, first class to coach, and he was not having it. And he actually pulled out the I'm a celebrity card.
Mm-hmm.
Morning, guys. This is Domino calling from Phoenix. I just want to let you guys know, Joanna especially, Juvenile, back that ass up joke. Great timing. Great. Unfortunately, Buzz didn't get it, but
thank you.
Don't feel bad, Joanna. I was laughing.
Thank you so
I
much.
was laughing my ass up. Yeah. Hell yeah. Back that ass up. Good job, Joanna.
Thank you. Nico even came in and congratulated me.
Yeah. I wish I had the medal, the zinger
mic?
medal.
Yeah,
the
we
mic.
have the golden microphone around here somewhere. We have an award. Here you go.
No, it's infected. No.
Look,
Oh,
Joanna, you want it, don't you? This
Kind
could
of.
be yours.
Leave
this
it there and
weekend.
I'll go disinfect it.
Yeah.
Nothing needs to be disinfected.
Well, ever since you got your
We don't
scabies.
know what you-
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, good morning, guys. I heard the story about Juvenile. Thought you'd like to know that a funny coincidence that an El Paso native who performs out in California recently just did a show for Juvenile's wife's birthday party. So just thought I'd share that with y'all. Hope you have a good one. Bye.
Well, what the El Paso native? What do they do? Like, what's their party performance?
That's a good question.
You kind of left a lot.
Maybe
of
it was like
meat of
Crystal
the-
Poppin', Joanna, or
Oh, maybe it was Crystal Poppin'.
yeah.
I don't mean this to be. I'm just ignorant. Who is Crystal Poppin'?
She
El Paso's
is
most famous rapper. I guess right now.
she's a rapper from here.
Yeah.
Oh,
She still lives here, I think, right?
I think so.
Yeah, but she is constantly flying out to do
she's
other stuff.
performing everywhere.
does she have a record deal?
Maybe. Yeah.
Morning, guys. Buzz, I don't know, man. I mean, think about it. If you pay for first class or business class and you're nice and comfortable and, they tell you, okay, why not you sit down? You already got your bags put up and, you got your little laptop out, whatever you're going to do. And then they tell you got to move to another seat.
Oh, I wasn't saying that. I guess I made a joke. He's acting very juvenile.
Well, no, that's what people don't understand is that you were playing it off like you were serious. Even at that time, I was going to bring up, well, come on. And then
if I paid for a ticket, I don't want to get rousted out of my seat and sent to worse seats, and also out of the entire plane. How did they pick this one guy?
And it's going to party back there by a bunch of people, especially because he's a celebrity, who knows who he is. So not only is he going to be getting pestered and bothered, but he's going to be in a lot, more tighter and more uncomfortable environment. And he paid for that upgrade. Now, I've flown a lot of places. One time, I don't even want to talk about it. Just put it like that. It's better, for him to at least argue that because, if I paid for that upgrade, I would expect to be able to.
Yeah, I think I essentially agree.
Well, you made it sound
No,
like you didn't.
right.
You made it sound like you didn't. But
Because I wanted to make the joke about, gosh, I wish they had a name for how childish he's behaving.
The dumbest joke in the world.
Is Juvenile related to Childish Gambino?
Oh my God.
That's a good joke on Joanna.
Okay.
Shows how hip I am.
Very.
With
You're
it.
with it.
It's as funny as Ice Cube and Ice Tea should all be in the same drink together.
Night 4 of the Democratic National Convention. One of the highlights of the night was an acoustic performance by Pink.
So what about us? What about all the broken happy ever afters? What about us? What about all the plans that ended in disaster?
I don't know how I never noticed this.
Mm-hmm.
Pink doesn't spell her name Pink. She spells it with an exclamation point where the I should go.
Pink!
Yeah.
Pink!
Pink!
This, they commented on this a number of times on MSNBC and CNN, both the number of Republicans, conservative Republicans, who spoke at the DNC. They said they've never seen a Democratic National Convention with so many Republicans there. And one of them was former Republican Representative Adam Kinzinger, who says that he's learned something about Democrats.
I've learned something about the Democratic Party.
And I want to let my fellow Republicans in on the secret. The Democrats are as patriotic as us.
I don't know if you realize this is going on, but this is almost like a polar shift. Ever since Vietnam, you kind of had the idea the Democrats are the ones who were always the first to blame America. The Blame America First party. That has flipped. In just a few short years, the Democrats are really the one who make you feel good about America. And it's the MAGA party that is always talking about how we're worse than any third world country, and it's all doom and gloom. And the Democrats have really taken back the idea of being a patriotic, proud American away from the Republicans and may keep it for the next 100 years.
Well, I've kind of decoded, I think, Trump speak and what he's aiming at when he says these things. We know that he's projecting doom and gloom because he's trying to make it
scare people into voting for
him that he's the only one that can solve these issues. So if you hear them talking about violence and all the terrible and how terrible things are since Joe Biden, realize that what he's doing is really lying to you in a way. Because why didn't he fix any of these things when he was already
in there
president?
for 4 years.
Right. Like, this is just a logical
None
fallacy.
of that got fixed. He never came up with a replacement for
healthcare
Obamacare
or anything like that. This is just a logical fallacy.
He never built a wall.
No.
Mexico never paid a penny for it.
But then I realized why he starts doing these two other things. He talks about Biden a lot right now. He's talking about how they're
so unfair. They forced him out. It was a coup.
What he is doing is he thinks that there are these diehard Biden fans that he will be able to flip and be like, oh, you guys should feel betrayed by your Democratic Party. Vote for me.
I think that is going to be minimally
That's not going to happen, dude. That's the dumbest thing in the world.
His breath there.
The second thing was, I just realized why he talks about dictators all the time.
Because he wants to be one.
No. He just said this in a tweet last night during the thing, that the world's tyrants will never respect her, Kamala Harris.
Is Trump really unaware that he is the biggest laughingstock on the national stage? That as soon as he leaves a room, all the other world leaders just burst out laughing at what are deeply, deeply ridiculous man he is.
I think what he's trying to say is that if tyrants respect the leader, they'll be less willing to attack. I don't know.
Trump is easily manipulated. And somebody as smart as Vladimir Putin, or even, I guess, Kim Jong-un, can figure it out. You can figure it out watching TV at home.
Oh, you can
flatter him.
Yeah.
If you play him, you can play him like a piano. Flatter him. That's all it takes. That is not a strength.
Right.
That is not a leadership quality. Being easily flattered by America's enemies is not something to be proud of, folks.
That's a good point, actually. That sounds like a huge weakness. Christy, Joanna, did you see the newest app chat message?
No.
Christy in our app chat says, as many strip clubs as Buzz has been to, he has definitely heard the song Back That Ass Up.
Yes. He sure has, I'm sure.
Well, did Christy work at any of them?
Well, that has nothing to do with it. I mean, she might have.
How do you know?
Because that's definitely a
song that they play at every strip club, yeah.
Leon Panetta, who was Secretary of Defense of the Obama administration, says that Trump is making a foolish mistake abandoning our allies and isolating America from our post-World War II allies.
Trump would abandon our allies and isolate America. We tried that in the 1930s. It was foolish and dangerous then, and it's foolish and dangerous now.
Yeah, you know what? That's interesting. Is that he was like more interested in making America's enemies, the tyrants, respect him than trying to earn the respect of any of our allies.
Right. He doesn't care about. Here's what I've decided. If you're really into the MAGA movement, what you've decided is America's a lost cause. You want to tear it down. That's why you're backing an agent of chaos. You're at the point where it's like America is so bad because either the gays can get married or the blacks don't know their place anymore or whatever your bugaboo is, that you would rather just tear everything down. And I'm afraid I have to tell you that is anti-American. If that's where you find yourself in 2024, you are not a patriot. You're trying to hurt this country, and the rest of us aren't going to let you do it. Got a little more audio. You want to hear Kamala Harris? Here's Kamala Harris, formally accepting the Democratic nomination for president last night.
On behalf of everyone whose story could only be written in the greatest nation on earth.
I'm working on an impression of Kamala Harris. She's kind of like a female
Detective
Howard
Friday.
Cosell.
Howard Cosell,
Yeah. You kind of have to do a female Howard Cosell impersonation.
I accept your nomination to be president of the United States of America.
All right. So that was last night at the DNC night, the final night. Let's take a break. We've got a true crime report on the way. More of the Buzz Adams Morning Show is headed your way right after this.
Good morning. Chuck Armstrong here, and I will be along tonight at 7 to get your weekend off to a rockin' start with Loudwire Nights. Then tomorrow at 5, it's 2 hours of ultimate metal.
Leave behind the gift. Go to organdonor.gov. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a town square media station.
True crime report coming up in just a second. Got a very full true crime report in the chamber and ready to go. We are celebrating August. August is August in honor of the band Ghost, and we have a great giveaway at the end of the month. One winner from all of our daily winners is going to win an autographed guitar. It's a Phantom guitar by Hagstrom. It comes in the Hag case and is valued at over $2,000, just the guitar and the case. But it's also autographed by Tobias Forge of Ghost. And we're doing this with the Ghost Song of the Day every weekday. I'm going to tell you actually, Joanna's going to tell you what hour the Ghost Song of the Day is going to be played in today. And we'll let you hear a little bit of it. When you hear the Ghost Song of the Day in the correct hour, what you want to do is jump on the phone, call the studio line, and be the 13th caller. The studio line number is 915-910-4995. Give that to you. Maybe enter it in your phone. 915-910-4995. Today is Friday the 23rd. It says that the Ghost Song of the Day is going to be in the noon hour, between noon and 1 this afternoon, Joanna.
Yes.
And the song is Hunter's Moon. So sometime between noon and 1 on KLAQ, you're listening for this song from Ghost, Hunter's Moon.
It's a hunter's moon.
When you hear that in the 12 o'clock hour today, be the 13th caller on the studio line. Once again, 915-910-4995. You'll win our daily prize, which is a copy of the movie soundtrack for the Ghost concert film Right Here, Right Now. It's a nice preliminary prize, but more importantly, you're a finalist to win the autographed guitar, courtesy of Concord Records.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
It is time for our true crime report. Actual crime stories from around the world, across the nation.
Stop breaking the law! Oh!
we have a lot of stories today to get to, so let's just jump right into it. And some of these have audio, too. A 55-year-old Florida man has been arrested for impersonating a pizzeria. 55-year-old Jose Marti Alvarez is facing a felony charge after he was caught impersonating a pizzeria. It was a bizarre scheme.
Yeah, how do you impersonate a business?
Okay, according to the Florida News, he would go to hotels and distribute fake flyers, pretending to be a real pizzeria that actually existed. Only the flyers would have his number, so he would take the orders,
sneaky.
the pizzas, and deliver them. But they were fraudulent. Once you open the box, they were cheaply made, bad pizzas.
No pizzas?
Now, there was something in there. In fact, the owner of the actual place said that he'd heard stories about they open it up and it's just like raw dough. And by the time they figure it out, he's already got the money and taken off.
But where is he getting the raw dough from?
I guess he's buying the supplies.
I mean, that's a cost for any business. That's a...
Nico.
Well, here is the real owner of Roman's Pizzeria. His name is Jesus Roman, and he is talking about this guy, Jose Marti Alvarez, who was impersonating his restaurant. And listen to how he describes it.
Bad, uncooked. Sometimes they said in the box is a piece of raw dough. And they just give it to them, and they just, by the time they realize it, they're gone already. When the manager went to confront him in the parking lot, he tried to get away, he almost hit him.
Maybe he was selling it as like, no, it's cook your own pizza.
This is artisanal. You're supposed to culture your own dough.
Yeah. It's part of the raw food movement. That's the pizza.
Do you remember on Succession, there was one episode where it was the dad's birthday and his son, played by Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, gave him a jar of dough.
Yeah, it was a sourdough starter.
It was a sourdough starter.
And he had no idea what to do with it.
Well, the fraudulent pizza guy, Jose, has been doing this for years before the real pizza joint figured out what was going on, and they had police track the guy down. They had been getting strange complaints and bad reviews and couldn't figure out how because they took pride in their work. The fraudulent pizza guy, Jose Marti Alvarez, was charged with organized scheme to defraud, along with an aggravated battery charge after hitting a staff member who tried to stop him when he got in his vehicle. A 36-year-old man in South Carolina went into a candy store demanding a refund and pulled a gun on the people working in the candy store. The store in Myrtle Beach is called Sugar Life. They did not want to accept his return. The store says they make their return policy clear. Who's going to want candy that you already took home? The man is 36-year-old Joshua Kim. He did not understand this concept, so he got heated with the employees and pulled out a gun on him.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
He pointed the gun at two candy store employees and threatened to, quote, put a chunk in their heads.
Maybe he was just feeling bitter.
A little sour.
Yeah, a little sour. Not sweet.
He wanted his money back. There were families in the store when the man pulled the gun stunt, including children. It sounds like Joshua got his money and left without discharging the gun.
Oh, thank God. Otherwise, it could have been a gusher.
But the employees called police. They tracked the man down later that night and arrested him. In addition to pulling the gun on the employees, they also found cocaine and marijuana in his truck.
Oh, so a little powdered sugar.
Hey, I thought this was a nose candy store. Police say that the man was also involved in a related incident, but did not specify what that was. A 73-year-old driver in Michigan crashed into the back of a police car while eating chicken wings behind the wheel. He was given a citation for distracted driving. I've eaten a lot of stuff behind the wheel of a car, especially on a long trip. I just want to make time, you know. So I'll stop and get something. I would eat wings, I guess, out on the open, like on an interstate.
Yeah.
It would be messy, though.
Nothing that needs a fork or a knife. Like,
burgers fine, burritos fine. Chicken wings, I don't know, because I'm going to want ranch on them. And then you're bringing a lot of different sauces into the mix.
Then that becomes a problem.
Yeah.
A Michigan state trooper was sitting at a red light in his patrol car when the 73-year-old man crashed into the back of him. The cars sustained only minor damage, and the cop wasn't hurt, and the guy wasn't hurt, but the police officer cited the man for distracted driving because of those chicken wings. Michigan State Police put out a statement saying it's important to remember to focus on driving while behind the wheel. Driving distracted, in this case, eating wings, is a risky driving behavior that leads to preventable crashes. Can you think of what would be the worst food to eat while probably soup? Like hot soup.
Hot soup is the
would
worst.
Be a very bad choice.
Unless you have it in like a thermos.
Ugh, I couldn't eat. I couldn't.
Cereal.
I couldn't.
Cereal's
cereal
the
would
worst.
be terrible.
There's an entire episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where Dennis is in his Range Rover eating cereal, and Danny DeVito rear ends him in another car, and the cereal gets everywhere. And they have an entire trial to see who's at fault.
Just an impromptu trial.
No, they go back to the bar.
Oh, yeah, they go back to the bar. But, but it's the gang.
The gang. It's like, is it Danny DeVito because he's like tiny and can't see and kind of blind, or is it the dummy who is eating cereal?
A couple of parents in California are warning parents to check their child's drink if they order apple juice after they say their toddler was served wine instead of apple juice. They say the toddler, so I'm thinking, 2-3 years old? They said the toddler ended up getting very drunk. Here is the mom, Nomi Valencia, talking about how they knew their toddler was drunk.
She was swaying. She was falling over. She was leaning on the walls. She couldn't hold her head up. She was slurring her words.
That sounds like a drunk person.
She was trying to bum a cigarette from whoever she saw.
We had to stop her from texting her ex.
Yeah.
She was trying to drunk dial. That's very interesting.
We had to take her keys away.
Let's see. A Russian tourist. I got to click on this because they have pictures.
Okay, what the hell is this?
A Russian tourist who allegedly tried to have sex with a cow was gored by the animal and had to be rescued by Thai police.
What?
Like in Thailand.
Well, that's not what the headline says, first of all.
What does the headline say? Russian tourist tried
to rape a cow.
Oh, my God.
Well,
like the cow didn't want it.
Unconsensually, you know.
What?
A Russian tourist who allegedly tried to have sexual congress with a cow was gored by the animal.
No means no.
Evgeny Kushinov.
Moo means moo.
26-year-old is said to have stripped off and sidled over a... Oh, no. Now, this is really going to make it unacceptable in Florida. Over the male bull.
Oh, okay.
Now,
it wasn't a cow.
It was a bull.
Well, now that's kinky. We're not
hold
gonna
on a second. Before turning his attention to a female tied to a wooden fence. You take a trip to Thailand, most people aren't thinking, I'm going to really have some sex with livestock.
Wait, turning attention to a female tied to a wooden...
a female cow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
Not a female human.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think. The vacationer allegedly tried to mount the cow only for her to react violently, pinning him to the ground and goring him. And somebody took a picture of it.
Oh, good for the cow.
Come on.
Somebody taught that cow self-defense.
Concerned locals who suspected the Russian tourist was up to no good had already called police when the goring took place. Try to poke me, I'll poke you.
Wait, the locals who suspect the Russian was up to no good, when they saw him prowling naked.
Shocking footage shows the Russian man lying on the ground without any clothes as the brown cow attacks him. Brown chicken, brown cow. I try to keep all of the crime stories kind of like in the United States because they seem to get really crazy.
This is
when
too
they come
funny,
out
though.
of, someplace like Thailand. Police and paramedics arrived at the scene and carried the Russian away on a stretcher. He was taken to the hospital to be treated for wounds on his bottom. What does Derek say?
Russian beef banger. That dude loves steak more than Buzz.
I don't like mine that rare. Maybe he was feeling horny. The officer in charge of the scene said the cow charged the suspect when he was trying to restrain the cow by holding its head, and he was lucky a rescue team showed up. Boy, the picture's he looks insane. The Russian guy.
Well, now you're just milking the story. Okay.
He was charged with a moving violation.
All right.
You know what? So stupid. I was thinking it in my head. I was about to say it earlier. I'm not going to say it. I chose not to do that one.
You have too much respect for yourself.
Yeah, to do the moving violation. I was like, nah, that one's not going to be funny.
Yeah, whatever.
Buzz does not care.
I don't care. We got one more story. Actually, a couple of quick hits. A 5-hour standoff with a Los Angeles SWAT team happened in downtown L.A., and it ended with a naked man holding a chihuahua being arrested by the SWAT team after a 5-hour.
Was he a Russian? And did he just get out of Thailand?
Had he just had a bad goring incident in Thailand? It doesn't say. Finally, a man and his wife were arrested after the man refused to leave a plane when he was ordered to do so by flight personnel. At the time, the man was bleeding from a hair transplant. And yes, the blood was the problem. The man and his wife were told to leave the airplane, but Eugenio Hernandez and his wife refused to do so. This was an American Airlines flight from Miami to Las Vegas. I guess
Am I not allowed to bleed?
That's a biohazard, right? There was a story about them having
the picture is gnarly.
If you prick us, do I not bleed?
If you put tiny little doll hairs in my scalp,
do they not bleed?
Here is Eugenio, the man who was arrested, stating his side of the story.
She told me you don't go out. I go call the police, and I say call the police because that's an injustice. I'm paying my fly. I don't have nothing illegal in my packet. Everything is fine.
Well, I guess any kind of bodily fluid could be considered a biohazard.
Yes.
Remember, there was a story about a plane that had to reroute and do an emergency landing because of some kind of. And we couldn't figure out exactly what it was. It was either like diarrhea or vomiting that had caused a chain reaction, kind of like the pie eating scene in Stand By Me. Mm-hmm. That was a story a couple of weeks ago. I guess if he was is it really bad? The bleeding?
It looks terrible, yeah. Like his whole scalp is bleeding.
But he had a bandage on it.
Wait, is that him?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a bad job, bro.
It looks like
his brain is exposed.
Exactly,
oh my God!
Like they just scalped him, and his brain is like bleeding through.
Although
wear a hat
or like bandages.
Aside from the blood, though, he has a nice high fade.
Oh yeah, the pictures. You're right. That picture is insane. Anyway, he said he wasn't bothering anybody. He paid his ticket. He shouldn't have been kicked off the plane.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're now ready to begin pre-boarding Flight 148. We'd like to welcome all first-class members, medallion members, and anybody with bloody heads. Also, anybody traveling with senior citizens with bloody heads, children with bloody heads, or who just need a little extra time getting onto the aircraft because your head is covered in blood, please line up at the gate. Any active military bloody head passengers, you're also welcome to line up in row A.
Over here?
Oh, no, ma'am, I'm sorry. Your entire torso is bloody. We're only welcoming passengers with bloody heads at this time. Bloody torsos are going to be zone B, followed by bloody legs. Again, we are now welcoming passengers with blood spewing out of their heads. Thank you.
I just want to say this guy looks younger than you. And apparently, Nico, he's 27. He's being proactive about the whole premature balding thing. At least he's doing something.
Bald is beautiful.
It is.
I can't. Can you imagine somebody getting out? It looks like out of a horror movie.
It does.
You could win 8 Elite Gear card, plus register to win an autographed Troy Aikman football. 8 is truly light beer made right.
This is a laughing matter. The Buzz Adams Morning Show resumes right now.
I may not be able to play phone calls unless I can figure out a workaround.
What happened?
Well, I, sometimes some crumbs get in my keyboard. So
Yeah.
there's
The ones that fall from your mouth.
there's a radio technique called decrumbing,
Okay.
and it works like this.
Oh
when
my
I
God.
when I did that, it affected my playback in a really weird way.
So, Joanna, in the main edit window, it created 3 sections now. So any audio that's imported is cut up into 3 sections.
Yeah, and it was here. I think I probably play it on a different player.
Morning, Buzz Show. Hey, Buzz. Hey, Nico. Hey, Joanna. That story you ran about the little kid being drunk, I know that is so bad and inappropriate, but the story is so hilarious when the mom's describing how she could guess a little girl was drunk. Can y'all post that on the website or somewhere so we can share that? Because that is too good to not share. Anyways, love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.
It was on the news this morning.
Did
and
they
I felt
have
really
it on
bad.
the news?
Yeah, because she's doing she was slurring her words, and I was like laughing, but I'm all, it's a serious matter.
It was hilarious, and that's the reason we replayed it, is because it was so funny yesterday. We thought it would be funny again today. But people
She was swaying. She was falling over. She was leaning on the walls. She couldn't hold her head up. She was slurring her words.
She started singing really bad karaoke.
Yeah. People are giving us a hard time about replays, though. Did you want to hear any of those?
No.
Always.
Okay.
If you're listening to the show so long that you hear a replay that we did 3 hours removed,
Thank
from
you.
the time, thank you. You are such a
You're
loyal
the
listener.
real MVP.
Yes, you are a special snowflake.
You want to pop me up or no?
No, I don't want to. No, sometimes we do.
Well, one
replay.
person's
I don't
blaming me
care.
for it.
Oh,
Nico's
why would it be your fault?
Hey, morning show. How you guys?
Oh,
Nice.
Nice job, buddy.
yeah, nice job with your crumbs.
And our engineer just.
Hey, morning show. How you guys doing? Just want to give you a call, say what's up. But just want to let you know, guys, I'm a little disappointed. You guys are running reruns from yesterday's. Like, are all 3 of you guys late? Like, what the hell? You know, like, fresh content is nice. It's bad enough that you'll run the same things on the same day, man. Jeez, come on. Stay on top of it, guys. Or is this a Nico problem? If you ask me, that guy should have been replaced a long time ago. Later.
It's not my fault.
God. Is this your first time listening to the show?
Okay, this would be hard to maybe comprehend, but there's a lot of people only listen for 30 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. That's much more common.
Right.
Than listening to the entire show. And I want to thank you for listening to the entire show. But yeah,
Yes,
occasionally
of
we do,
course.
we do a playback. That was a really good true crime report, I thought.
And you don't think it should be replaced, right?
Oh my God, what's wrong with your Adobe over there?
Do I think you should be replaced?
No.
Only if we find a qualified candidate.
Well, that feels great. Really makes me want to come more.
No, you shouldn't be replaced, but you should show up to work on time. And yes. You know what I think kills us? Those 5 a.m. replays.
Oh,
those
my
best
God.
of it's
Buzz Adams, you do not know how much I hate them.
I hate that we play replays of the show in the 5 o'clock hour, and that is out of our control.
Mm-hmm.
I have said before that I think it's overexposure.
Right. So you might be listening.
You might be hearing a clip.
that.
You might have been hearing something in the 5 o'clock hour. I feel strongly about it, and it doesn't register at all. They don't take my wishes into account in that regard.
Right.
Anyway.
They don't listen to me. And if they're not listening to you, we're all screwed.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, it's 5 Points Guy. I got a great Halloween idea for you guys for the Halloween or costume idea for the. I already had a few shots. And anyways, but hey, yeah. Is it even 5 o'clock? Yeah, it's 5 o'clock already.
God.
Beetlejuice. I can see Buzz going as Beetlejuice, Joanna going as Lydia, and Nico going as the shrunken head guy with the Symphony Night. Yeah. How about going, guys?
Oh, that would be awesome.
That actually is a good idea.
Yeah.
There'll probably be, there'll be a lot of Beetlejuices.
We always see
and Lydia's.
Beetlejuices.
Right, but this year especially because the movie's coming out, right? I really am not completely invested until I've spent money. You know what I mean? On the costumes.
Right.
Once we've done that, it's kind of like point of no return.
Also, it's still August. I feel like Buzz will still change his mind.
He's famous for that right before.
Mid-September, yeah.
Or midsummer, you could say. He would.
Nice.
We got a full month left in summer, guys.
I know.
Hey, you guys, I was just wondering about that officer-involved shooting at Franklin High, right? Was it at Franklin or Coronado? Or whatever
Franklin.
school it was at. Regardless, why is an officer deploying his firearm over his less lethal $10,000 taser? You know those yellow tasers that they have? Those things are like $10,000, dude. I looked into getting one because obviously I wanted a firearm, but the tasers cost $10,000. That's bottom line, right? Why didn't the officer deploy the taser like less lethal first, or even pepper spray the subject? Why just go? Why? And then the kid at that school probably had to see that. Like, I don't know. I really do hope that officer is on suspension leave. We don't know what happened. Nobody's saying anything, but.
Well, that's kind of the point. You don't know what happened. I mean, they're not giving a lot of details about that. Whether to say, why didn't he use his taser? Reportedly, this is the first fatal shooting by an EPISD officer ever. And I think you hit the nail on the head. We don't know enough of the details. I don't know what the guy was doing. Did he have a weapon?
Right. That's probably the most important question.
It's probably a really important thing to figure out what was going on. But just to automatically, that seems kind of knee-jerk to just say, I think the guy ought to be on suspension and then in the very same breath saying that you don't know what happened. Yeah, they're not giving a lot of details on it. It's always okay to reserve judgment until you have further information, right? Who do we have, Joanna? 5 Points or Stoner?
Stoner guy.
Stoner guy.
Hey, the other one.
The other Stoner guy? Oh,
No,
right.
I'm saying.
Hey, Stoner guy,
What's up,
I was
man?
thinking about this the other day. You have not smoked because of some kind of probation situation, right?
Yeah, but I still got stoner thoughts.
You got stoner thoughts. How
power to you, by the way.
Is there at some point that you think you'll be in the clear and you'll go back to being stoner guy? Or are you done with it?
Definitely will.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this, man. Oil and all that other hoopla, it's just not worth it, man. I just want regular bud.
Oh, you're saying like all the concentrates and the dab rigs and this and that?
Dude, it is not worth it. I just want flour.
Wait, is that what you got popped for, having some kind of oil and it was a concentrate so that it was more serious?
Yeah, it was one of the THC pins.
Right.
That was a pin.
What they say is so easily concealed, but I mean...
They say they can't prove what's in there, but I guess they got you, right?
Yeah. No, I mean,
All right, I just wanted to.
They're like, we know what this is.
Did you admit to it? Because if they had to prove it, I'm not sure what their next move would have been.
Take it to a lab.
Yeah, take it to a lab.
Yeah,
Go ahead. It's just a vape.
They ended up doing that.
Oh,
man.
they did.
They did take it to a lab.
Okay, we will do it.
All right, but you're not going to mess. You're not going to mess with the concentrates of the oils or anything from now on.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about the percentage of THC that's in it, right? Because this is like a 96 or a 98%. The legal THC for Texas is like something like 4 or like 10 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
For every percentage that it's over that, it's a whole nother charge. And so, like, you really don't even want to mess with that.
If you're not familiar with what we're talking about, these vape pens or vape cartridges have a concentrate in them that automatically puts it in a different category of criminal offense.
Right.
Same as cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin.
Now, Stoner Guy can't smoke for at least a year, I think, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, Stoner
It's
Guy.
already been a year, too.
Wait, he called for something else completely.
I know, but I really was sitting in my backyard thinking about Stoner Guy. It was like, what's his... I was like, what? Why can't he smoke? I'm not sure I remember the entire story, but so I'm glad I asked you. I clarified.
That makes me feel really good, man.
All right.
You're in our head.
You're in our thoughts and prayers. So what did you call in about, Stoner Guy?
Okay, dude. So I heard the replay where y'all were talking about car insurance.
Ugh.
And man, do I have a grievance with car insurance companies, dude.
Well, let's hear it.
I was with Geico, right?
Yeah.
And I got hit in an accident. I was pulling out of a parking lot and I got hit. I filed it or whatever, and my Geico insurance was like a week later, said that I was supposed to have this policy for at least 6 months before filing a claim. And now they were going to stop my coverage on the 16th of that month. And so basically they were expecting me to pay my premium or whatever for 6 months without ever using them. And they thought that was okay. You know, because what else in this world that we pay for that we're not supposed to use? Name one thing.
Yeah.
Boy, you kind of put me on the spot here, but so I wonder if that's a common policy. When you get insurance, it doesn't kick in until 6. That doesn't sound right. It sounds like it had to kick in as soon as you buy the insurance, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I always, anytime I am in a, accident or, something in the road or anything like that, I definitely use my insurance. Like, why would you pay out of pocket?
Did you hear the story from earlier this week about 73% of people who do have auto insurance pay out of pocket anyway?
Yeah, dude, that is outrageous. What are you paying for?
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Okay. What'd you get?
What?
What'd you get?
What did I get? Oh, man, I just made a delivery.
You made, that was your customer.
Yeah.
What did they get?
2 grams.
McDonald's.
Okay, listen, Stoner Guy. Thanks. Good talking to you. All right, we'll be thinking about you this weekend.
Have a great weekend.
All right, we'll see you later, Stoner Guy.
Nothing said I couldn't sell weed.
No. He's an Uber or a what's
DoorDash,
he's a DoorDash guy, right? Little by little, I'm piecing a lot of our listeners' lives together. And kind of getting to know them.
Like our regular callers.
Like our regular callers, right? Let's take a break. We'll come back. We've got more of the Buzz Adams Morning Show on the way. I've still got tickets for the Sunday night concert, Lamb of God at Mastodon, headlining with special guest Carrie King of Slayer and Malevolence at the El Paso County Coliseum. Those tickets will be given out very shortly. I'll have those coming up in just a few. And more of the Buzz Adams Morning Show headed your way right after this.
While you're working away, we're working for you. our job.
Plus 8-round flyers. There's no better research than watching every play. Get to Twin Peaks for every game.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Enderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
In about 15 minutes, Nico's going to have news headlines on the way for us.
I am.
I've got those tickets for Lamb of God at Mastodon Sunday at the County Coliseum.
And I'm going to be out tonight. We got a great show at Scenics.
Tell us all about it.
At 9:30, we're going to actually have a professional comedy show. Two of the best stand-ups in El Paso, Otis Hicks and Anthony Perez. Otis actually just won the Funniest in El Paso contest.
Both of those guys are very, very skilled comics.
Yeah, they're nationally. They're national headliners. They tour and feature all over. And that's going to be at 9:30, and then right afterwards we'll have our regularly programmed open mic. I'll be hosting the show, not the open mic, the first show, and it's going to be a big party. Yeah, so come on out.
But the microphone will be open for anybody who wants to try stand up for the regulars and non-regulars. At Scenics.
Yes, Scenics Bar and Kitchen, 4130 North Mesa. Starting tonight, 9:30. Come on, guys.
I had a call earlier this week. We actually incorporated it into the Tuesday After Buzz because I knew the answer. Somebody called in to ask about a question about Nico, and I knew the answer. And I was surprised that Nico answered it truthfully. So here it is, Joanna.
Okay.
Good morning, Mo Show. Hey, Buzz. Hey, Nico. I got a question that I think we've all been wanting to ask. Where does Nico Ajimian shop? Nico, if you got a show, a show that Saturday or whatever, you want to look kind of nice, where do you go? Walmart, Target, El Paso Mall? Considering you are freakishly tall, abnormally tall, do you go to the big and tall man shop? We know Buzz does, but we want to know where Nico goes. Anyways, have a great day. Bye.
Well, to be fair, Buzz just goes to the big shop, not the tall part.
Oh, my God.
You're like 6'2", maybe?
I am 6'2".
What are you, like an inch taller than me? Right? In height.
Oh, my God. You guys are dumb.
So,
I'm taller in every aspect.
So I know the answer to this question. Nico gets his clothes from his parents and his other family, his mom, his aunt, and maybe his grandma.
Like hand-me-down?
No, they go and shop for him.
So not my dad. And I haven't gotten new clothes in a long time.
Nico's 35 years old, folks.
But I pretty much wear the same clothes I've had for the past 10, 15 years. I mean, I don't go shopping for new clothes or anything. I have like a nice shirt already. I have,
And that does it.
Yeah, that does it. That and a little tie, and I'm good.
That's a good one. You dress nicely sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, right. But those are all things my mom had gotten me at one point, yeah.
Don't you think you're a little old for your mom to be buying your clothes?
Well, I'm not asking her. First of all, I don't ask her to do any of those things. Like, she'll just show up. Her or my aunt or my grandma will just show up and be like, we just got a nice shirt for you.
We got a live call, guys.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
we have... We have Ben, who I guess Ben's an insurance guy and has a response for Stoner Guy. So Stoner Guy says he got insurance, and they told him, you got to be signed up with it for 6 months for us to cover anything. Is that standard, Ben?
So by law in Texas, I'm sure you all know, it's a bare minimum of liability, right? That's to cover you from you causing an accident so that you can get the other guy paid out just in case if you're at fault. So everybody it's just a transfer of risk. So for Stoner Guy, if he got into an accident, regardless of who was at fault, if he was expecting the insurance to cover him and get his car repaired or get paid out for anything, that's considered collision and comprehensive. That is what is considered full coverage. There's no such thing as actual full coverage. It's actually comprehensive and collision.
Well, he didn't specify if he was only carrying liability, it would have only covered the damage to the other guy. Well, even if he was at fault. Okay.
But are you saying that the liability insurance is the thing that you have for that first 6 months, and then the collision coverage would kick in after 6 months?
No. So,
I think what Ben is suggesting is that Stoner Guy only got liability.
yeah.
Okay,
So-
but we don't know if that's the case or not.
Covered, yeah. We don't know, of course, but I mean, if you want that kind of coverage, it has to be paid before. It's a contract. So basically, you pay your premium, and we will cover you. But it's just a transfer of risk. I've never heard of any insurance law or any rule which would allow you to previously pay 6 months of insurance so that you can now make a claim of X amount of dollars.
Mhm.
It's all about the amount of risk.
You know, my car insurance has always come through for me, and I don't have to use it that often, but it has been pretty reliable. It's my homeowners. No matter what happens, no matter how expensive it is, somehow it doesn't quite cover my deductible. A tree fell on my house. Do you remember when that happened, Nico? I do. It like destroyed the roof. And the guy came out. He was like, he does the adjustment on it. He's like, oh, the total bill is going to be $13,889. I'm like, oh, wow. I'm glad I have insurance.
man, I'm
yeah, but
sorry.
your deductible's
Yeah.
$14,000. It's just always right below whatever the part that I have to pay is for some reason.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of little fine prints in there that you know it'd be good for you to go over. But hey, if you ever want to switch over,
Yes, Ben.
Yeah.
Good for
Hold on a second. I'm going to put you on hold. Joanna's going to pick up and get your information, okay?
You got it.
All right, hold
That's
on.
hilarious. I thought that there for like Joanna for the health insurance at the company, doesn't it like not kick in sometimes till the next year or
No, you got a deductible. So at the first of the year, sometimes you'll go to
no,
pay
but
your
the enrollment
your
period.
prescription.
The enrollment period.
God,
I'm
I
talking
hate
about
the enrollment.
But you don't even know about it.
No, I get the
barely,
emails.
he barely
knows. I know. Like I was like. Anyways, that's why I'm talking to Joanna, not you about this.
Do you want me to get Ben's info for it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Get his info. We have a call about Kamala Harris's speech last night, formally accepting the nomination for president.
Hey, good morning show. You guys were talking about Kamala Harris and the way she sounds, but that made me wonder about like Judy Garland, that they were making her smoke like so many packs a day just so her voice could be a little raspier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking they need to do that for Kamala, you know, get that annoying little pitch out of there and have her smoke tons of cigarettes before she gets up on stage. Anyways, have a good morning. Bye.
The reason they made Judy Garland smoke was because they thought she was
too fat.
And they gave her like appetite suppressants and caffeine
pills.
She was like 15 years old when she was making Wizard of Oz.
Also being sexually harassed by those munchkins.
According to her. So let's listen. Who is going to... you know who does a Kamala Harris impersonation? Maya Rudolph. So she's probably going to be showing up a lot on SNL.
I'm going to be playing all these in...
are you?
In news.
Oh, I was going to practice the... Here, just let me play a little bit to get an idea of her voice.
On behalf of everyone whose story could only be written.
Who are you, Jimmy Carter at this point? What the hell are you doing?
I'm just trying to look, it's hard to impersonate a person of the opposite gender.
Yes, absolutely.
But I'm giving it my best, okay? Hey, you know one thing Trump said that is true? Kamala, somebody has told her, don't laugh as much.
Maybe.
Because you don't hear her laughing, and there was something about her laughter that some people found off-putting. I got a little bit of audio of that real quick. Also, it seems kind of almost like a tell on her part. Like usually when she laughs, it sometimes
like a nervousness
that she's not comfortable with the questioning or she's in an uncomfortable spot. So I do think, here's an example. Somebody set Joe Biden down and said, touching women's hair might have been okay in the 1950s or 60s, but it certainly isn't okay today. And they made him learn that lesson.
Oh, anybody who has better hair than I do,
you want to touch their hair?
Yeah.
You remember the thing? He just would, and he didn't see anything wrong with it. Somehow they got it through to him.
Sure.
It's creepy old man behavior. You need to knock it off. And I think they've said something to Kamala Harris about her habit of cracking up, sometimes at inappropriate times.
Slow down, everybody. First, Afghanistan.
Do you have plans to visit the border?
Not today. More parents are seeing the value of educators when they had to bring their kids.
You're considered the most liberal United States senator.
Somebody said that, and it actually was Mike Pence on the debate stage. But
I asked for the yeas and nays.
President Duda, if you asked the United States to accept more refugees.
Okay. A friend in need is a friend indeed.
Wait. So hold on. Is her laugh really that bad? And two, women
enough that they've told her to knock it off.
Hold on. Is that bad? Is the laugh that bad? No, I don't think so. And two, women get criticized for this specific thing all the time. That women are screechy. That Hillary got dinged on it. Remember, it's the one complaint that female politicians get all the time about their voices. That they're too high pitched and they sound, like a screech.
Women.
Right. I mean, but that's the thing that is dog whistle.
I am saying that it was enough of an issue that I believe they have
maybe because
conferred with her on it
just to get rid of the
cut back on some of the non sequitur laughing. But
I don't think it was other than people criticizing her all the time for something that was. Silly.
One thing at the DNC, a lot of the speakers, Tim Walz is a great example of this, but a lot of the speakers who got up there were self-deprecating. They were able to laugh at themselves. That is something Trump is incapable of. Like being self-effacing or self-deprecating is just not in his skill set. That campaign seems as dead as dead. It just really doesn't seem like they're doing anything other than holding typical Trump rallies, which is not gonna win anybody who's undecided at this point. All right, so we'll take a break. We'll come back and have news headlines with Nico and Jimian on the way next.
Find out what's going on. Quirky facts about our region. Urgent things you need to know impacting your drive. And of course, nothing but El Paso's best rock.
Nirvana, and kind of like the not the first grunge song, but the one who really broke down the walls, man. Before Smells Like Teen Spirit, we were still in the 80s rock, even though it was 91.
It still smelled like middle-aged spirit.
It still smelled like hairspray.
Yeah.
But when that song came out, it was like, I'm sorry, all you hair bands from the 80s, your time is up. Because this is the new music in town. Over 30 years old now. We're going to get into news headlines, but I have these tickets. You want to talk about a rockin' night? That's going to be Sunday at the El Paso County Coliseum. Lamb of God is headlining. Also, Mastodon is part of the lineup. Special guest Kerry King, lead guitarist of Slayer, is going to be there. And Malevolence. Also, same night, Air Supply is going to be at the Abraham Chavez Theater.
So wait.
Maybe we should Barbenheimer that, give away like one ticket to Lamb of God and one ticket to Air Supply, and you can just go back and forth and go to either show. I'm all out of love.
Are we part
what am I without
Are we part of the promotions for Air Supply?
Not at all. Not in the least. Caller 10, let's give away another pair of tickets for Lamb of God and Mastodon this Sunday at the El Paso County Coliseum. Use the studio line to claim your tickets if you're caller number 10. It's 915-910-4995. That's 915-910-4995. And while Joanna's getting that, Nico, do you want to go right into news or did you want to play a call first?
Yeah, let's play that call before we forget about it.
Okay. This is about, I was talking about, okay, let me just restate here. I have noticed that Kamala Harris refrains from laughing. Trump had been making fun of her laugh.
Maybe that's why she's refraining.
It seems to me that somebody convinced her to not do it as often.
Okay.
You know.
It's not a surprise when somebody's using a giant stick to hit you with that you remove the stick.
Right. But, you know, here's a call. Somebody seems a little frustrated with the whole thing.
Sure.
Damn, it sucks to be a woman. I mean, we get criticized for every little thing. We're too fat. We're too skinny. We're too strong. We're not strong enough. We're too emotional. We're not emotional enough. Our voice is annoying. Our laugh is annoying. Oh, we don't laugh enough. Oh, we don't smile enough. You should smile when you get a compliment. Oh my gosh, guys, like that guy who called in complaining about Kamala's voice. Dude, you sound like freaking Bueller. So you're not really one to talk. Stop criticizing other people so much. And stop criticizing women so much. Let us be. Stop being so intimidated by a strong, powerful woman that the only thing you know how to do is tear her down. Oh my gosh, I'm so over these alpha males that can't even deal with a strong woman. Anyway, I love you guys. You guys are awesome.
Oh,
have a good one.
I was just pointing out that I think they did have, something and told her to not be without a sense of humor, but maybe just cut back on the laughter.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's surprising. I don't think it's a hot take necessarily.
No.
But she's right, though. Women politicians and women in general are criticized on the superficial things.
The most superficial things.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't.
Agreed.
Like Tim Walz's voice, nobody would, unless it was really wonky, unless you sounded like Ross Perot.
You remember yesterday, after Tim Walz's speech on Wednesday, somebody called in and made fun of his son, his 17-year-old son, Gus, who's a special needs or on the, maybe on the spectrum.
That lowlife wasn't the only one. People online and Coulter had to retract.
Coulter
I know.
Put out some kind of social media, which she then deleted. That was that picture of Gus Walz, and is like, I think her comment was, talk about weird.
But Democrats and everybody else decided, you know what? The civil thing to do, let's not talk about Barron Trump. Barron Trump is off limits. Agreed? Agreed. Sure.
Well, one side is playing with manners and class, and the other side has just ditched all that. Although, I will say, a number of Republicans still in good standing with the MAGA world came out and said it's really bad look for conservatives to be making fun of Tim Walz's 17-year-old son.
Oh, somebody
who was crying and so happy, and
tears of joy.
He was like, "That's my dad." Is what it looked like he was saying.
Somebody disagreed with the caller, the woman.
Oh yeah, that's a dude on that.
Yeah, Buzz. People need to stop criticizing these ladies and telling the truth. Yeah, guys, stop being honest and stop telling the truth. You need to be like us, mindless sheeple that go along with the tyranny.
Dude, have you ever been with a woman?
Seriously, dude.
You honestly sound like the oldest incel in the world.
If you use the word sheeple anytime, anybody who uses the word sheeple,
if you use it unironically,
that is insane, dude.
That is just, I cannot imagine that you get within sniffing distance of a woman ever.
You sound creepy and weird.
This is Big Daddy D, and I have said his voice sets my teeth on edge. Just the patheticness of his calls.
Okay, somebody says that we're kind of being hypocrites about this whole thing.
In what way?
Hey, just want to remind you guys have been making fun of Kennedy's voice for a month now. So this whole thing about, that doesn't happen to males. Come on.
Yeah, I said it doesn't happen to males unless you sound like Ross Perot or have an obvious vocal fry.
People do impressions. Well, he has a neurological condition.
Yeah, worms.
Probably worms or not getting his vaccinations.
Or eating dog.
Yeah, eating dog or touching a dead bear, whatever it is.
He has lots of things to make fun of.
Right. There are plenty of things you can make fun of with Robert Kennedy. But if you're going to do a Robert Kennedy Jr. voice, you have to do his voice. You want me to do it?
Yeah.
You know.
Was it in bad taste after he just criticized us for doing it?
I took the bear and I was going to put it in my freezer and feed it to my dogs later, but then I forgot and I went to a steakhouse and left the bear with my falcon in the car.
And finally, before we get into news, Kim thinks that that woman was in the right.
All right.
Good morning show. I'm just piggybacking off of what the other female caller said. Yeah, we're criticized for everything. The Barbie monologue did not go viral for no reason. Like, I have never felt so seen in my entire life as I was watching her lay it all out for everybody. So, you know, she's not wrong. Have a good day.
Yeah.
The Barbie monologue from the movie? Okay.
No, from the Barbie dolls.
No.
That was Joanna
Yes,
being
from
facetious.
Yes, from the movie. Yeah.
She had a big speech that was.
You're the only one of us who have seen it.
I saw it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh,
I saw it in
And
theaters.
the Barbie monologue is spot on. Yeah.
Here's what's making news.
Crank it, spank it on the ding dong.
Let's get to a couple of stories. We're going to have to break here soon anyway, so.
Sure.
You know, don't get into anything you can't get out of real quick.
Just,
you know what I mean?
Let's. No, Buzz. Explain that.
Yes, explain.
Yeah, explain what you mean.
You sheeple. You sheeple.
All right, let's start off with the most important news story to El Pasoans probably today. A man in his 50s was fatally shot by an EPISD officer at Franklin High School yesterday morning, resulting in classes being canceled. The shooting happened before 6 a.m. when an EPISD police officer responded to a report of an incident on the perimeter of the high school. El Paso ISD Police Chief Manuel Chavira said, "We want to ensure the public that this incident was isolated to Franklin in the early morning hours. It did not affect any students, faculty, or staff. All other district campuses are safe and secure." Thank God.
We've had a call already this morning questioning why the officer didn't use his taser, but we don't know any other details other than this. So we don't know if he had a weapon or what.
The shooting only involved the man who died and the EPISD officer who was responding to the incident. No further information has been released. The El Paso Police Department and Texas Rangers are investigating the shooting, which is standard procedure. Also, an administrative investigation by EPISD is also starting. The only students on campus, thank God, were the cross-country athletes, and
apparently they were at a different
nowhere
part of the
near
campus.
Yes,
but they did cancel school yesterday at Franklin.
The high school is expected to reopen today with all classes resuming. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, let's have another story.
All right. Staying in El Paso, a 52-year-old wanted subject was arrested after he failed to run from deputies when he was trying to hide in a tree.
He failed to run
from deputies
when
when trying to hide in a tree.
Okay.
This past Tuesdays in Clint. Deputies were responding to the 300 block of Torreon Street regarding information on this man who was wanted. Jorge Sosa, 52, is a registered sex offender, was found by deputies and then fled on foot. Well, then, according to the sheriff's office, a search began in open fields and canal areas. Imagine trying to search in the lower valley.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like wilderness sometimes.
Okay.
He was later found hiding in a tree. He was taken into custody without incident and booked into El Paso County Detention Facility for parole violation / sex offender failure to register.
Since we talked about RFK Jr., today's the day he's supposed to make an announcement, and there's a lot of speculation that he's going to announce he's dropping out and that he's joining forces with Donald Trump. But we've also heard that he tried to get in touch with Kamala Harris and was rebuffed. So it sounds like maybe RFK Jr. is going to throw his support to whoever will. First of all, that is a negative endorsement in my book. RFK Jr., who's responsible for some of the biggest vaccine misinformation of the past 30 years.
We don't want that one.
Yeah, I would take that as that would be like getting the endorsement of Vladimir Putin. And
Trump probably has that too.
Trump probably has that too. But supposedly today is the day that and Trump has already said he would happily accept RFK Jr. and his endorsement.
Hello, your favorite president, Donald Trump speaking.
Hi, Donald. It's Robert Kennedy Jr.
Hey, how are you doing, Bobby?
I just wanted to let you know that I'm dropping out, and I want to join you.
You want to what? I can't understand a word you're saying.
I want to join you.
You want to buy some shoes? Go buy some shoes then, Bobby.
No. I want to team up with...
You want to team up with Rod Carew, the old baseball player?
Oh, forget it. I'm back in the rabbit.
You're going to slap my face? Oh, no, you're not, Bobby. I'm hanging up now.
Chuck here, and I am ready to throw the horns up on Loudwire Nights.
All because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Originating in El Paso, for El Paso, the Buzz Adams Morning Show, 95.5 KLAQ.
Let's get back into the rest of the news. Here are just a couple of things I observed during the DNC. On Wednesday, they had the mother of one of the Israeli hostages, who's an American-born Israeli. And I was worried for a few moments that maybe protesters were going to interrupt the speech, but they didn't. You know, she was talking about how her son was at a music festival that was all about, peace and living together peacefully. And I was a little bit worried that those protesters were going to somehow sully that moment, but they didn't do it. And then last night they had the Central Park Five. These, if you don't remember this case, there was multiple attacks in Central Park, including one woman who was raped and beaten so badly that she had brain damage, didn't have any memory of it. And 5 kids, teenagers, were convicted of it. But then, some years later, another inmate admitted that it was him, and DNA evidence exonerated them. But it's not like they were up to no good in that park. The way that these people are now being treated like heroes. What the DNA evidence proved, and the admission of the other person, is that they did not rape the Central Park jogger. You got that? But there is ample evidence that these guys were assaulting people and, were in the mix. Now, why they brought him up there is probably because at the time, New York real estate developer Donald Trump wrote an op-ed that called for the death penalty for these kids. So they're trying to... I'm just saying, if you look at the facts of the case, it's not like they were on their way to Sunday school. All right? They were up to no good in that park. They just didn't do the thing that they were convicted of doing.
Which is the most important part of our story.
Yeah, no.
You're just trying to...
Well, I mean, I don't like to ignore reality, and the reality is they were assaulting
they didn't rape
people
anybody. That's the reality, and they were convicted of raping somebody. They were sent to prison for raping somebody. Donald Trump wrote an op-ed that called for the death penalty for them, for them to be murdered by the state. Yeah. Imagine if they had been.
If they had said, Donald Trump is right, we need to execute these guys, and then you find out later, well, they didn't.
So that's the most important part.
Rape the Central Park jogger. They assaulted other people. They were part of the mayhem of that night, and I just don't know that you elevate them automatically from monsters to saints. You know, the truth is probably somewhere in the gray middle, like most things are. All right, back to news headlines, Nico. What else do we have in the news today?
Well, let's talk about that Democratic National Convention. After a day of rumors that everyone from Beyonce to Taylor Swift to former President George Bush would make an appearance at the last night.
Would that have been something? What if Mike Pence had showed up?
The big surprise was that there was not one.
No Beyonce.
That didn't dim the enthusiasm in the room, though, with a large number of the crowd waving American flags as another lineup of Democratic Party all-stars took the stage.
And Republicans.
One of the highlights of the convention was Pink was playing. Do you want to hear a little bit of Pink?
Sure.
After Steve Kerr appeared earlier in the week, Golden State Warriors point guard Steph Curry made his own appearance last night with a video address. The video included footage of Harris meeting the Olympic men's basketball team during practice. And the night wasn't without musical firepower. The Chicks, formerly known as the Dixie Chicks, before they spoke out against George Bush.
Talk about cancel culture.
Performed the national anthem.
That is an example of right-wing cancel culture. They said the wrong thing and country radio shut them out.
And as you heard, that was Pink who sang What About Us? But she wasn't alone. Pink was singing, Joanna, get this, with her daughter, Willow Sage Hart.
Oh, yeah, she brings her out a lot.
Gabby Giffords, who had survived a gunshot to the head, spoke about the need for gun reform while her husband, Senator Mark Kelly, operated the iPad for her. I survived, she exclaimed to the crowd. Kelly also spoke, spending time on VP Harris's strength on foreign security, mentioning that she has always championed America's support for NATO, for Ukraine, and the Ukrainian people. Former Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta, who served in the Obama administration, was the person who gave the order that led a U.S. strike team to kill Osama bin Laden, used his primetime speaking slot to tell the crowd that former President Donald Trump would abandon our allies.
Trump would abandon our allies and isolate America. We tried that in the 1930s. It was foolish and dangerous then, and it's foolish and dangerous now.
Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who introduced herself as Big Gretch, jabbed at Trump several times, including when she asked the crowd, do you think Trump understands that when your car breaks down, you can't get to work? No. His first word would be chauffeur.
Okay.
That probably landed better when she said it. And the schedule of speakers was not just made up only of Democrats, as another Republican took the stage last night. Republican Adam Kinzinger, who's been a critic of Trump over the years.
Kind of hounded out of the Republican Party for not going along with the MAGA agenda.
Who's been a critic of Trump over the years, describes himself as a proud conservative and said that Democrats are pretty patriotic too.
I've learned something about the Democratic Party, and I want to let my fellow Republicans in on the secret. The Democrats are as patriotic as us.
And finally, Senator Elizabeth Warren said that Kamala Harris understands the economic struggles facing America.
She gets it. We need to make life more affordable for working people. Yeah.
All right.
Well, the Supreme Court ruled yesterday that a part of the Arizona law requiring proof of citizenship while registering to vote could go into effect immediately. The portion that would also require proof of citizenship to vote for president or by mail wasn't approved by the justices and remains blocked from going into effect. Arizona is a key battleground state in this year's election. The law, which was enacted in 2022, faced lawsuits from the Biden administration and voting rights groups that same year. You look like you're about to say something.
That is one thing. I don't see what the controversy is that you just present some kind of ID when you vote or when you get your voter certificate.
We kind of brought this up the other day, and I was kind of agreeing with you, and like saying, showing that you have an ID or something isn't that hard. But then we got several people in our app chat that gave very specific stories of theirs about how difficult it was for them to get their ID or even renew one.
How can you live in American society in 2024 without some form of ID?
Sometimes things happen, man. And it especially affects people of
I've got to think those cases are so vanishingly rare that you've got somebody who is politically engaged, is eager to vote, is really hoping to go out on election day, and at the same time does not have a form of ID. It just seems unlikely to me.
I don't know.
I mean, I just cannot relate to the idea that somebody's going around in 2024 without an ID.
Your socioeconomic status prevents you from relating to that particular thing.
God, if you don't have it enough together to have some form of ID, maybe you don't need. Maybe I don't want you voting.
But if I'm a citizen,
all right.
An Arizona man was arrested yesterday after he allegedly threatened to kill former President Donald Trump. According to a spokesperson from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office, 66-year-old Ronald Lee Suvard was taken into custody without incident, but no further details were released. Trump visited Cochise County yesterday and was told by a reporter about the situation. Do you want to hear how he responded?
Sure.
I haven't heard about that. They probably want to keep it from me. Thank you for telling me. Let's get out of here right now. No, thank you very much for saying. But no, and I have great respect for Secret Service, the job they do, including a month and a half ago when they were jumping on top of me with bullets flying right at them.
Well, that is something you don't usually hear Donald Trump praising law enforcement. Especially the Secret Service. I guess RFK has made his decision, by the way.
Oh, did he? Is this breaking news?
It's from the Epoch Times, though. I'd rather wait to hear it from a reliable source. But I have a call about RFK. Let me play this one off the neckline real quick.
Hi, I just wanted to call and comment on Buzz's comments about RFK Jr. You leave out all the time that, or maybe you didn't know, that RFK Jr. has said multiple times that he believes in vaccines, he's thankful for them, and that they have saved many lives. His thing is just that he feels they could be safer and there should be more transparency with the pharmaceutical companies and the testing and all that. He has said several times that he knows correlation does not mean causation, and everybody just ignores that to make him look like some crazy person because the Democrats didn't want him in. Maybe look into him a little more because he hasn't put out a bunch of misinformation, and I've yet to hear you state what misinformation he said.
A couple of years ago, they identified 12 people that they call the disinformation dozen.
The super spreaders.
These 12 people are behind most vaccine misinformation. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is prominently among those names. NPR study found having to do with the COVID-19 vaccine, but also vaccines going back to, the MMR and the hoax that tied that to autism. The disinformation dozen produced 65% of the shares of anti-vaccine misinformation on social media platforms. And his name is on there. Also, the doctor who first came up with the idea that there was some kind of connection between common childhood vaccines and autism was a con man. Basically, he had already worked it out with a lawyer. They were going to make this claim. He was going to put his medical stamp of approval, and then they were just going to file lawsuits against the pharmaceutical companies. No, I'm aware of Robert F. Kennedy. And
yeah, he has said some crazy stuff.
He said, come on, his hands are not clean here. He has spread more than his share of misinformation.
Okay. To this day, RFK has repeatedly claimed vaccines cause autism.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing.
Absolutely no evidence of that. He's talked about this part of vaccines that's called thimerosal.
Thimerosal, which is a form of mercury that haven't been in vaccines for 25 years.
Right. It's been removed from almost all vaccines. It has been removed from all vaccines
during
since
the
2000s.
pandemic. RFK Jr. shared conspiracy theories that 5G cellular networks were going to spread coronavirus. I mean, just barking at the moon insane type of stuff.
I'm sorry, whoever, thank you for listening, whoever that was. But you
sound like a reasonable person,
you do.
but to say that there's nothing behind what I'm saying is not factual.
RFK is a nut.
And it finally explained a lot when I found out more about him with the dead bear and the brain worms and eating dog and all that. It's like, oh, he's kind of a weird guy all along.
And the problem is this, for whoever was calling in, people have pushed back against what he said and shown him proof of what he's saying is wrong.
And he sticks with it.
And he sticks with it. See, that's the sign that somebody doesn't understand or has an ulterior motive, is that they are not willing to change their views in accordance with evidence.
Which is a shame, because he has a top-notch education, and he seems like he presents as an intelligent man, but he has just got this one.
He's got brain worms.
He's got brain worms.
He's got brain worms.
Really? What else can you say beyond that? He's got brain worms, and he wanted to put a dead baby bear in Central Park as a prank.
Did he endorse Trump? Yes or no? You were except you got through a paywall.
Yeah, I didn't want to go through a paywall. Latest RFK Jr.'s possible alliance with Trump threatens to roil. ROIL.
All right, this is just talking about the possibility again that he might.
Well, today's supposed to be the day.
All right, how about in non-political news? The largest diamond ever found in the past century was dug out of a mine in Botswana by a Canadian mining company.
Just now?
Just right now. Get this. The 2,492 carat diamond is the second largest ever found in a mine.
But I'm an American. Make it compare it to an appliance or something, or an animal, or a sports ball.
Okay, a small football.
That's how big it is?
Yeah,
a small football.
Yeah, like this.
Okay, like a souvenir football.
Yeah, like a souvenir.
Whoa!
Well, did you look it up?
Yeah, it's like this big.
Yeah, it's huge.
It fits in the palm of your hand.
Joanna, what if I got you that for an engagement ring?
That'd be beautiful.
Would you? You
Yes.
couldn't even carry it on your hand, though.
I'd just carry it around like this and be like, we are betrothed.
Yeah, like a souvenir football.
If you saw that laying on the side of the road, you would just assume it's a chunk of glass or something.
Or like, oh, wow, it's hailing?
Yeah, right. Okay.
That's pretty cool, right?
Did they put a dollar estimate on how much it's going to be worth?
Well, one person said, I'm lucky to have seen this in my lifetime. Officials said it's too early to put an exact value on the stone, but it's a safe bet it would be enough to retire comfortably on. A smaller diamond than this, about half the size, was sold for $63 million in 2016, which is was a record at the time for a rough stone.
What do they do with the stone like this? They cut it up into a bunch of different smaller stones, or
well,
do they?
For these record-setting ones, I'm not sure they do
facets and everything.
I'm not sure they'll do anything to these record-setting ones. Like, it's such a massive stone, you just want to leave it, right? But yeah, generally for big stones, I think they cut them up into smaller ones.
You know, diamonds, other than
live forever.
Well, diamonds, other than a few uses in technology and mechanical stuff, don't have any intrinsic value. They're only valuable because
we say they are.
We agree that they're valuable.
You know a couple strippers named Diamond, don't you?
He knows.
I knew a stripper whose sister's name was Diamond, but she wasn't even a stripper. Her name was just Diamond.
Right. And the stripper was Sarah. That was her
name
stripper.
was Patricia.
And that was her stripper name.
Patty over here.
All right.
Got a break.
There's not really any more news stories.
Come on.
Okay.
There's got to be something you're going to leave us with.
Something fun?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Just one more story.
An Australian man is under arrest, leaving a See, apparently you can't do this. An Australian man is under arrest for leaving a passenger plane through the emergency exit and climbing onto the wing, down a jet engine, and onto the tarmac.
Oh, so it wasn't flying at the time?
No.
Okay.
But like, haven't you guys ever thought about this before when you're trying to get out of the plane and like everybody stands up and then like
you gotta wait.
You gotta wait.
Everybody gets their bags out and God, it's just so disorganized.
Haven't you ever looked at the emergency exit and thought, God,
it's right there.
It's right there. It's on the side of the plane.
I could just hop down. Remember the flight attendant who quit and he deployed the inflatable slide and was like,
and he's like, peace, everyone.
Peace out, bitches. And he slid down the slide and that's how he quit his job.
Best resignation ever.
Yeah.
Well, apparently this man was frustrated enough to do what we have all thought of at one point, and that's to climb down. And he was arrested.
Dang.
And with your news,
I quit this bitch.
I'm Nico.
The Daily Calendar.
Today, August 23rd.
It's National Cuban Sandwich Day. Started as a newspaper writer's joke in Tampa Bay in 2016, but it's stuck ever since. And with good reason. They're delicious. Love it or hate it, it's also National Coconut Week. Sorry, hate it. Personally, don't love it. But it keeps castaways alive, so. And it's cheap flight day for those end-of-season travel deals.
And that's your Daily Calendar.
Leave a message on the neckline at 844-805-6325.
Hey, I tell you what, Buzz, when I first heard of this neckline, I thought it was the dumbest thing I ever heard of. But I done called you about...
You are protected. 5 years of insect science in your hands. Raid. Protection for everyone.
You are about to participate in a great adventure.
The KLAQ Morning Show with Buzz Adams is back.
Yeah!
Only on 95.5 KLAQ El Paso.
Just to make up time, because we've gone too long, we're going to have to do another commercial break. But this would be a good time to let people know about the August Ghost Song of the Day. Do you have that handy by any chance?
Yes, I do.
And Nico, somebody took offense to something I said?
Yes.
Or disagreed.
Many people take offense to many of the things.
I mean, it's just a regular day here.
Yeah. But something
you know, I don't say anything to be offensive, but I do try and be honest.
Sure.
Every day every weekday that is, we have the Ghost Song of the Day, and we are celebrating this month as August. At the end of the month, all of our daily winners are going to have an equal chance to win an autographed guitar. It's a Phantom guitar by Hagstrom, comes in the Hagstrom case, and it's autographed by Tobias Forge of Ghost. As a daily prize, and this is just a nice little daily prize, you're going to win the Ghost movie soundtrack right here, right now. How was that movie, Joanna?
Good.
Like being at a concert.
It was a concert movie, and it was awesome.
So you're going to win that CD. I guess it's on CD. And you'll be qualified for the autographed guitar, courtesy of Concord Records. The Ghost Song of the Day today is going to be in the noon hour, right?
Yes.
All right. What is the song?
It is Hunter's Moon.
It's a hunter's moon. Under a headstone, sister, I'm dying to see you, my friend. Back in the old cemetery, I'm dying to see you, my friend.
Did you know they're Swedish?
Yeah.
Yes.
Tobias is. I don't know. Nobody knows about the ghouls. The unnamed
ghouls are also Swedish.
They
and
might
I
be.
remember because when Scott was still here, when they did that show in the conference room, Scott was like, "Oh yeah, I saw them all without the mask.
Their masks
They're all
on.
blonde hair,
and Lisa
blue eyes.
and I were like, what do they look like?" And he's all like Swedish guys with blonde hair and blue eyes.
All right, you're listening for Hunter's Moon in the 12 o'clock hour. Okay, let me hear. Sometimes people are upset, but it's just a misunderstanding.
Okay.
Maybe that's the case here.
Buzz, how dare you? Shut up, just shut up, just shut up. Your statement about the Central Park 5 reeks, absolutely reeks of white privilege. Oh, well, they were up to no good. Buzz, they were children who were treated as adults, who were wrongfully accused, and who Trump said, hey, they should get the death penalty. Children, Buzz, stop being so ignorant. Stop being a ginormous cactus needle. And for the love of God, just retract that statement, man. God.
He called back. Hold on.
All 5 of the Central Park 5. Here's the thing. Maybe they've changed their lives in a positive way in the intervening years, but they were committing crimes in the park, and they were 16, 17 years old.
They were obviously going down the wrong path.
Right. They were youngsters going down the wrong path.
Admitted with their parent present that they had hit the jogger with a pipe.
But they weren't charged for assault.
They were charged for the rape, and
Which
it turned
they
out
didn't
that
do.
they were exonerated for the rape. But
you
that
could say
doesn't mean
you could say they were
they're
victims.
not heroes.
You could say they were victims.
I don't call anybody who hits a rape victim with a pipe a victim.
Anybody taken advantage of by a system built on racism?
Now, they might have been kind of railroaded by the police.
Do you think racism had anything to do with that?
I think the fact that they were in the park assaulting people had a lot more to do with it than anything else.
But were they sentenced as adults? Or charged as adults?
Donald Trump wanted to give them the death penalty, so it's a good thing they didn't do that. But
imagine
they are
if
not heroes.
So they would only be victims if they had gotten the death penalty and then died, and they would. Well, I guess they were victims now. I mean, they went to prison, didn't they?
Some of them served most of their sentence, I think. But they were not completely innocent. And children, 16, 17 with a lead pipe in your hand can do just as much damage as a grown-up.
Your statement reeks of white privilege.
How dare you? No, I don't take back. I don't take back.
Honky?
Okay, so the district attorney at the time is Nancy Ryan. She says to this day that all 5 fully implicated themselves in a number of crimes, violent crimes that had taken place in Central Park. And when you get those guys up on stage, it just argues against your law and order message, and Kamala's a prosecutor and so forth. I realize it makes Donald Trump look really bad, but these guys were no angels. Maybe they have become better people since that terrible experience.
Well, it would suck.
But
It would suck to spend 20 years of your life in prison for a...
None of them were sentenced to more than 13 years.
It would suck to spend 1 year of your life in prison for a crime you didn't commit.
Yeah, but if the Central Park jogger was anonymous for a long time, but eventually came out and identified herself, and one of the Central Park 5 admitted, again, with a parent present, that he hit her with a lead pipe, but didn't rape her.
So never mind. I would have. Oh, got a call. But
this is the kind of thing that's a big turnoff for people. Is like, wait a minute, maybe these guys weren't guilty of what they're. And Donald Trump apparently, a knee-jerk reaction, wanted to give them the death penalty, but they're not heroes. Let's talk to Noel. Or Noel.
Yeah, Noel, man. I'm sorry. I always call. I love your show, but I'm angry today. Nico, you don't get it. It's a generational thing. The kids were terrible kids. They were hoodlums. They were so up to no good.
They were violent.
Right. You're giving them wiping up the slate and saying, "Oh, they were not victims." When you're looking for trouble, you're going to find trouble. And unfortunately, these kids were no good kids. Were they charged for the wrong crime? Yes, they were, but they were criminals. And you're not understanding that. And that's what bothers me.
No, I understand that. The only thing that bothers me is that they're up there as if they're heroes, and that kind of argues against everything else that was good about the DNC.
That's right. I mean, that's the reason why people do not respect law enforcement nowadays, because of that.
Well, I mean, they might have kind of railroaded him into falsely confessing to the rape. It took DNA evidence to prove that they did not rape the Central Park jogger.
I'm not saying that they're angels. I'm not saying that they're heroes. I am saying...
Why invite them to your convention?
Well, sure, that's a good question. That is a good question. But I think because they were railroaded by Donald Trump specifically, and his op-ed had a lot to do with their former... but
he was just a loudmouth real estate developer back then.
Yeah, but that shifted public opinion. That shifted public opinion, which shifted the prosecutor's priorities and the police's priorities.
Well, none of them got the death penalty, so it didn't.
So that's the only saving grace? I mean, they still... One guy, 13 years? 13 years in prison for a crime you didn't commit?
I don't think anybody served their entire sentence. But yeah, they made a documentary about it that also went a long way toward making it seem like, oh, these guys were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. That is not the case. All right. Thank you, Noel.
Yep. Thank you, man.
Love your show.
All right. Bye. Appreciate the call. Listen for that ghost song of the day, Hunter's Moon, in the noon hour. Let's take a break. We'll come back in the 9 o'clock hour ahead right after this.
Why does everyone keep listening to that show?
They're juvenile and gross.
That's why I'm saying this show should not be on the air.
This station, its management, and sponsors would like to apologize for the Buzz Adams Morning Show.
Power washing with monthly this ad and receive 15% off. Visit sanitize915.com for more info.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a Town Square media station.
Okay, let's hit it.
Into the 9 o'clock hour. This doesn't happen very often, but we have not done Joanna's Hollywood Cheesemay report yet today.
That's cool.
Like we got busy.
Yeah.
But you have a report ready to go, right? You want me to play a couple of calls and then we'll get to your Hollywood Cheesemay?
Okay.
What's coming up today? I'm kind of interested.
Well, we're going to talk about that Dance Moms show and the John Benet Ramsey routine they wanted.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. Great. Great job, guys.
Didn't Dance Mom, like one of the Dance Moms, basically, it just all came out that she's a horrible, horrible human being?
I want to say maybe
Abby Lee Miller?
She was the
teacher?
Teacher.
I didn't watch this show.
I didn't really
Isn't it just child abuse masqueraded as extracurricular activity?
Everything I know about Dance Moms was from when Joel McHale used to host
The Soup. Yeah.
The Soup.
Yeah, that's the way I would know anything about Kardashians or any reality show.
Was
really.
JoJo Siwa one of them?
Yes, she was one of them.
That's how long it's been, Buzz, probably, that you were watching it when JoJo Siwa was probably, or you were watching Joe McHale make fun of it when JoJo Siwa was on.
Good morning, Buzz, and the morning show. This is Donald J. Trump calling in. Apparently, multiple news media sources are reporting that I had a meltdown live on air. Well, let me tell you something. Fox News, I don't have meltdowns. The only time I have a meltdown is when McDonald's forgets to add buffalo sauce for my McChicken. I can't eat a McChicken without buffalo sauce. I just can't, and they always forget. Why can't McDonald's have their own line of sauces at Walmart like Subway or Chick-fil-A? I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Chick-fil-A.
That's so perfect.
The AI couldn't do that.
So last night on Fox, Brett Baer, who is a legitimate, a respected journalist. He's an actual journalist. Well, he's on Fox News. He kind of has to.
Yeah, you're
get
right.
in some dark waters sometimes, but they had Trump talking about the DNC last night, and they're trying to wrap up, and it seems like they're exasperated just by the looks on their faces because he just keeps going on and on. I think that's what the call was about.
Joe Biden in a Democrat primary. I have no doubt about it. And they made it absolutely impossible for him. They made it that you have to get 60, 70% of the vote just to get in.
Maybe if you hadn't elder abused him so bad during that first debate, he'd still be in it.
Elder abuser.
I mean, that's really what it was. That was a live, televised 2-hour case
elder
of elder abuse.
And you know what? In the end, the Democrats did the same thing to Joe Biden. They threw Joe Biden out of the party.
And that's
they
why
did
we
the
saw a
same
different
thing
night
as they
tonight.
did to RFK.
Mr. President, thank you so
very much, sir.
for the time. We
Okay,
appreciate
thank you
that
very
live
much.
feedback.
Stay right there. Live edition of Gutfeld is coming up. Thank you so much for joining.
Okay, so what's really funny?
When they go to Gutfeld, then he's like,
Well, it wasn't me for us being late. It was Trump And he's still talking.
He was still going.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, listen, man, you guys need to really, really get educated on terminology.
Really?
What you're saying. Because there's a difference between misinformation and disinformation.
Oh, okay. Semantics.
Distinct. Sound similar, but they're distinct. Misinformation is simply just false and false narrative, false information. Like saying Buzz Adams is a gay parrot.
A gay parrot? Polly want a cracker.
It's false, right? Disinformation. That's misleading on purpose. And it has to do with propaganda related. For example, the COVID-19 disinformation, whatever, blah, 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 that it was a lab leak, which, by the way, it was, regardless of what you guys say. All right? And you have to really pay attention.
I don't know if I could do this. This is just like a word salad.
And it's said in so monotone.
And I hate the term word salad.
I hate salad.
Yeah. Nobody likes
I hate words.
Do you know what I mean? You're going to educate us on the difference between misinformation and disinformation, but you are the hardest person to listen to.
For any
Change
information.
up the pitch of your voice a little bit or something.
Regardless of what you guys say. All right? And you have to really pay attention to words being said by media or anybody else. Because language can be used to how can I say, manipulate everything.
Words. Mm-hmm.
Caller, when you talk like this in a conversation, if you ever do you notice that the listener's eyes kind of glaze over and they keep waiting for you to make a point and you never get to it?
Someone come get their drunk Theo.
To be used as doublespeak, if you will. And I'm not talking to you.
I have never heard somebody use so many words to not say anything in my entire life.
Well, and I'm not talking to you guys in Morning Show. I'm talking to you guys out there listening. Because these two knuckleheads, Buzz and Nico here, they're a little too arrogant in their ways, and arrogance begets ignorance. So they don't really see that. So just trust me. Really pay attention to what is said out there.
Yeah.
All right? Get educated.
Yes, we're going to trust you, anonymous voice.
Education.
Trust me, that nobody knows what they're talking about.
Get connected for free.
Hey, okay, Joanna.
God, I cannot imagine sitting and listening to that guy talk for longer than I just
Sounds like
did
when
right
your
now.
Theo gets drunk and he starts telling
listen to
you.
me. Misinformation. Disinformation.
Joanna,
Yes.
yesterday we did our podcast, and then I saw an envelope on Buzz's desk.
Oh, no, man.
And
this was not for on air.
The envelope was from the Donald J. Trump campaign for president.
Okay.
And
President Donald J. Trump. It's got my legal name and my address on it.
It doesn't even say
everything.
former president. It's just like he's still president.
2024 RNC Pledge of Support.
Okay, so then I'm.
By the way, I could
Is it
steam that stamp off and still use it.
I'm
Like,
about
it's-
to open. I'm about to open the letter, Joanna.
Uh-huh.
I'm about to open it, and Buzz goes, "No, don't do that." I'm like, "You're not going to open it?" And he's like, I might keep it around as a memorabilia or as an antique souvenir or something." I go, "What do you mean as a souvenir?"
Of a particular moment in American history when things got really weird. Like some people collect Nazi memorabilia.
weird.
I'm collecting Trump.
That's what he said. He's like, "Well, you know how people collect Nazi memorabilia."
That is, I mean, a walking red flag hobby right there.
But
is collecting
Nazi memorabilia.
Well,
right.
you know, but it's kind of important because 50 years down the road, after I'm long gone, people may doubt the things that were
happened,
said.
which is why there'll be like a Holocaust
There'll be
museum.
like-
The number
there'll be a
of-
Holocaust museum for this was the time where the Trump
And this was a dark time in America.
MAGA.
Yeah.
The Museum of MAGA.
People won't believe in the future that a large group of American people believe in such anti-American, odious ideas. There'll have to be some kind of proof. So I've got a few yard signs. I've got
and I said,
supplications for donations.
I said, I
All
bet
of that I'm
people will
keeping.
not like this topic.
Well, half of the people are going to love it, and half of the people are going to hate it. But
Why are you keeping that? Like Nazi memorabilia.
You know.
As
a collectible.
There's some people that go out on the weekend, dress up like Confederate soldiers. That's their hobby.
Yeah, that's their hobby.
Mine's collecting Trump era.
We really need to find you a new hobby, honey.
Like in 100 years, we're going to have January 6th reenactments.
Yeah. People will be showing up to reenact January 6th. Except nobody will want to be a Capitol Police. Everybody will want to be a MAGA mob member.
Right.
That'll be the version of... Have you ever seen those Civil War reenactments? I don't know if they're as big as they were like 20 years ago.
Are there some people who only want to be Confederates?
They don't have enough people to be Northern. Everybody that does it wants to be a Confederate soldier.
Shall rise again.
Right. For some reason, people don't want to show up and be, American soldiers. They want to be the ones who wanted to keep slaves. It's bizarre. All right.
That's hilarious.
Time for Joanna's Hollywood Cheese Bag.
Nice intro.
Thank you for that.
Good morning, Joanna.
Good morning, everyone. It Ends With Us has had so much drama, but it's also getting major backlash for not having a trigger warning before the movie.
Do you have any interest in seeing this movie?
I did when I thought it was a romantic comedy.
But it's not.
But it's not.
And also, apparently...
I actually think it's more interesting now knowing that it's like this really darker, deeper, dramatic tale of domestic violence. And that sounds like a more interesting story than
I'll
just like
probably watch it just because...
romance.
And Blake Lively, who's married to arguably the most popular actor right now, Ryan Reynolds, is really getting dragged over
I kind of
her.
understand it, though, because you would not have known that this was a serious movie.
No,
She's out promoting it like a rom-com.
Right.
That's what I thought the entire time until everything started coming out about Blake Lively and how she wasn't like helping out with the domestic violence situation thing.
Like she barely
laugh it off.
Like, yeah, that she was laughing it off a little. So I thought, oh, what a cute romantic comedy she's probably in. No, boom, domestic violence. Well, it doesn't have a trigger warning at the beginning of the movie. So Amazon MGM Studios says that they've learned from that mistake. And they're making sure that Blink Twice has a trigger warning.
The Zoe Kravitz movie?
The Zoe Kravitz movie. The warning was posted on social media yesterday, writing that the movie is a psychological thriller about the abuse of power and that the movie contains mature themes and depictions of violence, including sexual violence.
Okay, I just want to say, going into a movie, if there's something that I could have used a trigger warning for, I don't want the trigger warning. That's part of the movie-going experience. It might be a terrible experience, but that's almost like a spoiler, right? Aha.
You think that's a spoiler? Well, there's going to be some messed up stuff.
I don't know. I mean, if you need a trigger warning for too many...
Went to It Ends With Us without them knowing about the domestic violence thing.
I could see how that would be weird.
I'd be like, oh my God, this isn't cute at all.
This isn't the cute rom-com I thought it was.
It's like when I went to go see that Ari Aster movie that came out last year, Beau is Afraid. I thought it was going to be a good movie. They should have given me a trigger warning that it was a bad movie.
This is going to be a bad movie. Trigger warnings for everything, The post also included a more prominent place for domestic violence resources, links. Blink Twice stars Zoe Kravitz's real-life fiancé Channing Tatum as Slater King, a billionaire tech mogul who owns a private island. And there's plenty of glitz and glamour involved, and it all seems like fun and games to a cocktail waitress named Frida until her friend Jess goes missing, and none of the other vacationers seem to care.
One of the actresses, I'm not sure which one it is, Jess or the other, but she was the little girl in Arrested Development.
Aaliyah Shawkat.
Yes.
Yeah. She's the one that goes
Cousin
missing.
Mabel or Maud or what? Mabel or Maud? Or, I don't remember what the name was.
She's the one that goes missing in the movie. Allison Hannigan is not opposed to her daughters watching her films, but there's one in particular that she dreads them viewing the most.
Bandcamp.
I'm sure we all know which one it is, even though it has Taylor Swift's apparent stamp of approval. Hannigan says that her daughters, ages 12 and 15, have seen most of the stuff that she's been in, but when it comes to the raunchy comedy American Pie, her daughters haven't shown interest in watching it, despite the movie getting a shout-out in Taylor Swift's song, So High School. She said, quote, they haven't mentioned that they want to see it, but they know how exciting it is. And Taylor might have piqued their interests, but that's the one I dread the most. Hopefully, I can just ride it out until they're in college. In So High School, the song, which is widely speculated to be about Swift's relationship
I
with
wouldn't
her
let my
boyfriend.
kids go to band camp if I were Allison Hannigan.
Right.
Not if they played flute. Maybe if they played tuba, it'd be okay.
They're like, I'm going to play the flute. Not how you are.
Not in my house, you're not.
In the song So High School, which is widely speculated to be about Swift's relationship with her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, the singer sings, I'm watching American Pie with you on a Saturday night.
God.
Beautiful.
So their lives are not that much better than ours. Hey, it's Saturday night. You're the most famous couple in the world. What are you doing? Watching American Pie.
Stars are just like us, okay?
They farting from each other.
Jack Black and Paul Rudd are in early talks to star in a remake of the 1997 adventure horror movie Anaconda.
Now, this is interesting.
This is
of all movies to remake, Anaconda.
Now, this isn't a Sir Mix-a-Lot biopic, right? Or biopic.
Biopic.
Sorry, Buzz makes fun of me for saying that.
No, this had
this is the
J-Lo
movie with
in one of
J-Lo.
her first movie roles.
And Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, John
Owen
Boyd.
Wilson.
Eric
like really
Stoltz.
young Owen Eric Stoltz? Yeah, Eric Stoltz.
Frickin' John Voight.
John Voight.
John Boyd, yeah.
Who looks the same.
Oh,
Kind
my
of
God.
does. He's looked the same since
There's a scene
1997.
where the anaconda has swallowed and partially digested John Voight, and then the anaconda throws up John Voight.
Oh, yeah.
And he stands
Like it
there
didn't
for a
sit well with
second.
him?
You're right. He stands there, and then he winks at Ice Cube and J-Lo before collapsing. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
there's
just
one scene
amazing.
where I think the anaconda swallowed Owen Wilson
And you
already.
can see
And you
the
can
outline of his face. Oh.
That scene traumatized me as a child.
Anyway, I love Anaconda.
Actually, yeah. Good movie. Jack.
And J-Lo is walking through the humid jungle in a form-fitting nightgown
Like
that is just
dripping.
hugging every inch of her curves.
Well, that's what moisture does. I mean,
Well, Jack Black and Paul Rudd's
what is
exec
that going to do?
roles-
That sounds insane.
Yeah.
That sounds like it could be really funny.
Their roles are currently unclear. However, one will play an aspiring director stuck in his job as a wedding videographer, and the other will portray an actor who did a stint on a cop show but sees his Hollywood dreams slipping further and further away.
This remake has my 100% stamp of approval.
and
No word yet.
I'm
on
glad
when.
it's a remake and not a sequel, as in
We don't need
number
Anaconda.
5. No, because we already have Anaconda's The Hunt for the Hunt for the Blood Orchid.
Anaconda?
That was the second one.
Anaconda 3 Offspring and Anaconda's Trail of Blood.
Oh, my.
I didn't get any farther than the second one. The second one was nowhere near as fun and cool as the first one.
I'm going to figure out where we can watch Anaconda. Finally, Dance Moms has a new show. It's called Dance Moms, A New Era, which is a reboot of the original. And it's in a bit of hot water right now. On a recent episode of the show, which has children competing in dance competition, among other things, one of the girls, Ashlyn Sheed, was assigned a dance where she was dressed as John Benet Ramsey and was told to pretend she was being strangled for her performance.
Your solo is going to be based on John Benet Ramsey.
You're going to be a glitz pageant girl. That's who John Benet was. But then she got kidnapped and murdered.
Imagine telling a little kid that. Ashlyn seemed alarmed to learn the details of Ramsey's death and said, "This is really not for me, but I'll do anything for the win."
Will it make me win?
Yeah, she's like, "Am I going to win?"
That's a good life lesson for a 8-year-old, I guess.
Actually, I don't know if she wins. Oh, no, she get the sad part about this is she only got 4th place. So didn't really go over too well. Fans,
Maybe she should have done another one. Like, who was the baby in the well? Baby Jessie?
Baby Jessica.
So you're going to be in a well.
Yeah.
And
You're
you're
gonna
going to
be
be
trapped.
dancing down that well. Fans, of course, had opinions about the dance choice, with one saying they could have easily done a beauty pageant routine without exploiting John Benet's murder.
Mm-hmm.
And someone said, this Dance Moms new era is messy. Yeah, who thinks of that? With your entertainment news, I'm Joanna Barba.
I'm Daniel Paulus, and whether you're wrapping up your workday on
It's a new line of service. Bonus active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
From the KLAQ studios in beautiful sunny El Paso, Texas, this is the Buzz Adams Morning Show.
That was jamming.
95.9 95.5 KLAQ El Paso, a Town Square media station.
Do you think it's all that unusual that I keep things like fundraising letters from the Donald Trump for President campaign?
Only when you explain it as you're keeping Nazi memorabilia.
Historical memorabilia.
In the context of, so we never forget. Like it's going to be a Holocaust item, a Holocaust museum item in the future.
Yeah, someday. You don't even have to project it into the future. Right now, people are trying to say that Donald Trump didn't call for a riot to overthrow the outcome of the 2020 election. People are making that argument that those people are heroes.
No, somebody wanted me to remind you, why haven't we talked about him fundraising? He's having a gala for the January 6th rioters.
Right, to raise money for him. These people are all going to get out of prison, and they're all going to get government jobs in the Trump administration. All of these people who did Trump's bidding.
Criminals.
Okay, here's the thing. He should be ineligible for being president. He shouldn't even be allowed on the grounds of the White House because he lost an election, and unlike any other president in American history, he didn't accept the results. And he motivated his people to come to Washington, D.C. and try and intimidate lawmakers into changing the election. It's just the kind of thing that he should be prohibited from being president.
And then what we were saying is that, then they're going to have January 6th reenactments, like the Civil War reenactors.
Morning, Buzz. Hey, Buzz, you talked about the Civil War reenactments. I watched a really, really good independent documentary about those. I mean, the guy was from, I can't remember what state down there in the South where they're real hardcore about that. But the point of the documentary was that Civil War reenactments are a very, racist thing. It's a Southern pride thing, man. And even back when there were still Civil War veterans around, they didn't do them. These things didn't start till, the 60s in the middle of the Civil Rights Movement. It was kind of like a pushback because the actual Civil War veterans saw and experienced the true horrors of war, man. They were killing each other, and everybody was, at the end of the day, American. So, yeah, I'll try to find it and send it y'all's way. It's a really good documentary. But, yeah, those Civil War reenactments, like you're saying everybody wants to be the Confederacy, that's because it's a very racist thing, man. Anyways, y'all have a great day, guys. Love y'all. Bye-bye.
I had seen a 2020 story or 48 hours many, many years ago about the Civil War reenactors, and they were pointing out that the one drawback is nobody wants to be a Union soldier. All these Civil War reenactors want to be Confederate soldiers. And I thought,
well, it was not
that. It's not very often that people want to pretend to be the losers.
We did not lose, all right? It was not a civil war. It was
rigged.
A war of northern aggression.
Mm-hmm.
And it was rigged, yeah.
And it was rigged.
We've got also a bunch of great messages in our app chat. Keep them coming. Download our app, KLAQ mobile app, wherever you get your apps. Joanna, this is Rob. Joanna needs to watch this show called Kevin Can F Himself.
Oh, I've been wanting to watch it.
I watched a couple episodes of that.
Show has really a very unique way of telling a story. When showing the husband's point of view, everything is set as a sitcom with a laugh track.
Think King of Queens.
But when they show the wife's point of view, it turns into a drama, and both colors and camera angles change.
And it's got that Annie Murphy who played the daughter in S Creek.
Rose.
Yeah,
yes.
She played Alexis Rose.
Oh, you mean my dream girl?
In it.
That's my dream girl.
It is an interesting concept because it's, the buffoonish husband in a comedy, but he's also it's a toxic relationship.
Oh, snap.
I think maybe it was leading to she was going to kill him.
Oh, it's on Netflix.
It is on Netflix. Oh, yeah. That's the one thing I forgot to say. By the way, it's on Netflix.
It was an interesting take on that trope.
And Erica from Austin says, this was super nice. I think I should print it out. I listen to y'all.
Stick it on the wall?
Yeah.
Frame it? All right.
We should start printing these out when they're nice.
I listen to y'all every morning, and when I don't, my day is just a bit dimmer.
Oh.
Because I'm wondering what I missed. Y'all are a part of my morning routine first thing. You make me laugh, and when you talk about complicated topics, I enjoy listening to different opinions. And I always will give Buzz so much credit because he's big on facts. It's been a tough year. My husband's health took a turn. We realized he has a condition that has destroyed his kidneys. And long story short, I'm a match, so I'll be giving him a kidney today.
Oh, my God.
This show has been a light and a beacon of joy, and I always look forward to hearing it. Please don't ever retire, Buzz. Thank you, Buzz, Joanna, and Nico. We're from El Paso, but we live in Austin. I have the app. And Buzz, get your yearly physicals.
Oh.
I finally had my doctor's
so much,
appointment with a new primary.
Nice, Erica.
Finally, you got a doctor's
I decided
visit.
going in.
Did?
I was going to do something that I've never done with
He got a finger in the butt.
No. I decided I was going to do something I've never done, and that is be 100% honest with my physician.
So when they asked you, do you drink?
I said, yeah. And they said, how much? And I said, to tell the truth, it's probably gotten to the point where it's a little too much. So I'm supposed to cut back on
Do you
that.
smoke?
Yes. And I said, yeah, just a couple cigars a week. They didn't ask
What?
I
Okay,
smoke.
cool. I mean, that's fine. Did they say cut down on those?
Okay, so I didn't know what a colonoscopy was.
What do you mean you didn't know what a colonoscopy? Look at Steve's face already.
Listen,
do you want us to show you?
I can still be very, very stupid, despite that nice app
Buzz is
message.
the smartest, stupidest man
So
I know.
they have you fill out, and it's like, when was your last colonoscopy? And I'm like, probably 3 years ago. And
or 2 weeks, depending on who you ask.
No, okay, so the doctor gets me in there and is like, you don't remember exactly when? I was like, oh, no, just my doctor, my physician, my primary care physician. And it's like, no, they don't do that. And I said, wait a minute. Is a colonoscopy something other than a finger up your tailpipe? Because that's what I thought a colonoscopy was. Honestly.
Was just a finger?
I was saying, yeah, that's the last time, they put it up there to check your,
No.
That's not normal.
That's not a colonoscopy.
That's a prostate check, and that's just flirting. Colonoscopy is the whole date.
You should report that done.
What happened to you?
I admitted, it's like, I guess I didn't know what a colonoscopy is.
The fact that you don't even know what a prostate check is, and you thought that was a colonoscopy.
I thought that was the full Megillah.
When you go to a doctor, when you go to see a doctor, they ask you, we need to check your prostate. Did you think that meant a colonoscopy?
Yep. I thought that's what it was. Apparently, though, and I was worried because the finger deal is not a treat.
And it's not a treat.
It's not fun.
Nobody. Well, listen.
It's not on the menu under specials. No.
Nobody enjoys
and
it.
It hurts to ride a bicycle the next day.
But our most popular item on today.
So a bag of peas next time.
Have you ever had a PSA blood test? That goes with the prostate check.
I don't know.
The PSA is what essentially detects if there's an abnormal. How do I know all this and you don't?
Because you are a much more responsible adult.
More responsible,
man.
Good Lord.
Is that where they do the guaiac test with the blood on the blood smear or something?
No, they take your blood. It's like, and they'll do the PSA as part of that too.
Okay.
So they'll draw blood. And
let me just say, I'm a big believer that the more you obsess over your health, the more likely your body is going to get sick. It's better just not to think about it.
That is the dumbest thing to think of in the world. That's the same thing that old men say where I don't want to go to the doctor.
They might tell me
find
what's
something.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I don't go to the doctor,
they can't tell me I have something.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. My dad,
but they knock you out for the colonoscopy. They put you under.
Of course, they put you under.
Right. I was worried that they were going to put some kind of cattle prod up there or something.
Oh my God! Can I tell you this? Okay, listen. My colonoscopy is scheduled for September 23rd on a Monday, and
I'll try and make mine at the same weekend. We can ride over together.
That sounds like a plan. That sounds great. Then you can. Well, we can't drive back. But the point is,
we literally be butt buddies.
Here's the deal, Buzz. Here's the deal. Have you even scheduled yours yet or no?
No, I only had the meeting with my
buddy sessions?
His and his?
Can we do side by side?
Yeah, right.
It's not a spa.
We
It's
want to
not a
hold
weekend.
hands while we're getting our colonoscopy.
Now, you have to understand something, Buzz. The actual colonoscopy procedure is about 10 to 15 minutes long.
But they put
not
you
long.
under, right?
They have to put you under. That's right.
Because it would hurt so bad?
No, it's just they put you under so that way.
Oh, no. That is the reason. That is definitely the reason they put you under, because it would hurt.
Yeah.
Ladies probably don't know about colon. What's the thing with the finger called?
It's a prostate check.
Oh my
Prostate
God,
exam.
dude.
They
Of
probably
course they
don't
do.
understand
Do you know what your
that.
prostate is?
I guess it's in your butt somewhere. Also, it's the thing that if you want to, like, if you want to stop your stream of urine, you contract your prostate. Correct?
Yeah,
is that right?
Kind of.
Yeah,
Kind of.
like
Yes.
Kegels.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, so Joanna,
It's this walnut-shaped organ.
Yeah,
right on the
right.
Okay, what is it?
No, I'm not going to get into it.
Like, I don't know what goes on when you go see your lady doctors, right?
Yeah.
I don't really know what's going on.
Oh, you don't even know about like the cervical checks and like the speculums that they get out?
I've only heard stories.
Have you seen a speculum?
Not in person, maybe on TV.
The things that go open things up?
It looks like a
For
duck.
ladies, you mean?
Like a duck. Yeah, yeah. It looks like a duck.
No.
Did I ever tell you guys about the time I got called the F word, but the bad term for gay?
By
a cholo in the hospital.
Because you had to use a spec. Why?
Because
why?
in the hospital, when you have a penetrating trauma to your stomach, like a knife or a bullet, they will do a CT scan with contrast in your butt, in your intestines.
Uh-huh. All
So the contrast needs to be put in through your butt.
Okay.
And my job was to put the thing in the butt. To
What was what was the cholo in the hospital for?
He got stabbed.
He got stabbed.
Yeah.
So you got called the F word by a cholo.
Well, we had to
because
hold it because he didn't want us to put it in his butt. But
And he called
Wait. You don't have to get their permission for that?
he was under the influence, and so technically,
Under the influence of what?
It doesn't matter. He couldn't make his
Just
own.
an influence.
He can't make legally not allowed to make his own healthcare choices.
I might fight back if I were in his position.
Well, you would be held down just like he was, and I would be lifting a cheek.
That kind of sounds like a sexual assault, right?
What the?
We had to get the
It's
CT
a
scan.
medical
You had to get the what?
The CT scan of it to see if he was bleeding on the inside from the stab wound.
Hey man, you don't want somebody
Just let him
your
bleed.
butt.
Just let him bleed then.
That is your right as an American to bleed out right there on the table, if you ask me. Steve, were you counting on this conversation? So here's the thing that women
Steve's
don't know
so happy he came in.
about prostate checks, okay?
What?
When the doctor checks your prostate, you might have an almost an urge to defecate. Like there's something about what's going on up there that is like,
What
oh
is
no,
wrong? What is
oh my
wrong?
God, I'm going to poop right on the doctor's hand.
Are you serious?
Yes. It can't just be me. There's no way it's just
I've had
me.
I've had my prostate
and you
checked.
aren't like, oh no, I'm gonna dump a load right here.
No. Well, first off, let me ask you this: when you went to see the doctor, did you just have all this coffee in you, and did you already eat? Like, were you
5
prepared?
cigarettes?
I mean, did you feel like you
4.
were ready? Like, you should have gone to the toilet before you went in to see the doctor, and then that was the problem because it's just
like you're a porn star.
Yeah,
preparing.
seriously.
I think that I didn't know ahead of time. The doctor was kind of like, hey, we need to do a prostate check on you. It's time to do it. Maybe if I had known ahead
What
of time.
age do they say start?
50.
50.
Well,
yeah.
And it wasn't a doctor. It was kind of a guy I met behind the Chinese
Yeah, I was gonna
buffet.
say. He had no license.
All this makes sense now.
All right, listen, let's take a break. Cowboys are playing tomorrow. We want to come back and talk to Steve about Cowboys.
Speaking of butts.
Yeah.
From a
We'll come back.
prostate check to the Cowboys. What a perfect segue.
More coming up right after this.
Artist interviews, Zoom music discoveries, celebrating artists' birthdays, commemorating releases, champion of all things rock.
Williams Store. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
Kaplowitz.
I'm a big, stupid jerk.
Cowboys are playing their final preseason game tomorrow on KLAQ.
Yes.
The official radio home for Dallas Cowboys football in El Paso. Hey, I got to really, I guess it's a nice call. And Joanna says we can go until 10:30 if we want to.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
We're completely in the
You're welcome.
Seriously? You can go until 10:30? This is like unprecedented. I can't remember the last time you went past 10.
Oh, because then it becomes Glenn's problem, not ours anymore.
Yeah, that's not my problem
morning
anymore.
show. Just want to say I wasn't able to hear most of the show today, unfortunately, but I just turned it on, hearing you guys talking about Buzz's lack of knowledge for his prostate and colonoscopies. You guys made my morning, man. The racist cholo slurs. You guys sent me into the weekend on a high note. So thank you. I love y'all. You guys continue to have yourselves a great day, and I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. And Buzz, get a medical book or something, man, and just start playing around. You'll figure it out, bro. All right, y'all. Have a good one.
Yeah, I'm a real idiot with some stuff.
Well, let me tell you this, too, okay? And you probably don't, since you thought that a prostate check and a colonoscopy were the same thing. Let me tell you this, okay? The colonoscopy itself is the easy part.
Yeah.
The hard part is the day before when you essentially clean yourself out to prepare yourself
Like you
for
gotta
the
fast or
colonoscopy. No, you
got to drink
Oh, my
this
God.
thing.
You got to drink, and then it's that and laxative.
It's a laxative.
So
yeah, giant
basically,
laxative.
you're living on the can to get rid of everything. So that way, when you show up, you've got nothing in your system, and you can and they can check and see everything.
Yeah,
That's the whole idea.
I don't want to do it.
Somebody called it. Somebody called to talk about our last subject, and then the fact that we're now talking about Cowboys.
Okay.
Do you want to play that?
I like the fact that in the same breath, Buzz, you mentioned dropping a steaming, stinking hot load and the Dallas Cowboys in the same breath. As it should be, my friend, as it should be. You win a tight end. You came out a wide receiver.
All right, there you go, Daddy D. That's a good call, and you did not give me creep vibes. Nice job. Tomorrow, Cowboys are playing their only preseason game at home, and it's going to be are they the Los Angeles Rams now? I forget.
They are.
They're back to the Los Angeles Rams.
Yes, they play in Los Angeles. They're not in St. Louis
back in
anymore.
the Roman Gabriel days.
That's right. Yes, the Pat Hayden era.
Boy, that has been a long circuitous route, right? The Rams were in L.A. for the longest time.
Yes.
And they went to St. Louis, and they went to San Diego?
No.
Or no?
No, they went from St. Louis to L.A.
They just went back to L.A.
Yeah.
Are we going to see Dak Prescott in the game tomorrow? Because what's Jerry pulling? He doesn't want to sign Dak Prescott until after the season starts. What's the holdup with CeeDee Lamb already?
Well, first off, money is the issue. They've got to figure out the cap situation. That's the biggest question right now because, they don't have a lot of cap money because Dak is taking up, almost $60 million of their cap. That's the problem.
Why is it that there are a lot of Cowboy fans want to get rid of Dak, or they don't think that the Cowboys
hang on. Let's see if you can figure this out because I'm really interested to see if you can dissect this as well as you dissected your prostate. So let's work on this for a second. The reason they don't want to sign Dak is because as great as he has been during the regular season throughout his career, the playoffs have been a totally different story. And a lot of fans are tired of the Cowboys exiting in the first round of the postseason because suddenly Dak can't complete a pass.
Regular season, would you say Dak is a top 10 quarterback in the league?
I would go
top
so far
5?
As to say top 5, maybe even top 3.
Postseason, though, he doesn't deliver.
He is not the same guy. Not the same quarterback.
Well,
and Cowboys
that seems
fans,
like a fundamental flaw.
If you want to go to a Super Bowl, you're not going to get there if you don't win a postseason game.
I got news for you. Tony Romo had the same issues.
And look where he is.
That's right.
In the broadcast booth making a ton of money.
Yes, he is. Probably more than he was as a quarterback.
The Cowboys need somebody that is going to just knock you out of the park.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem.
Do people say that Dak Prescott chokes? Is that
in
a
the
thing
playoffs?
In the playoffs?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you think that's a fair thing to say?
As of now, 100% yes.
Okay.
100%
All
yes.
right. Okay.
So here's the thing. Here's the problem, okay? Here's the problem with the Cowboys. Let's say they let Dak Prescott walk after this season and become a free agent, I think it's only like a $22 million hit on their salary cap after June of next year, which is better than the $50 million hit it is on their team now. So they've got to let him play out. That's for sure. He's under contract, and nobody's going to trade for that salary. So the question then becomes, if you get rid of Dak, who is going to be the next quarterback for the Cowboys? Trey Lance is also going to be a free agent after this season. So just like Dak, he is going to be looking for a new deal. Cooper Rush, I mean, seriously. So then there's this potential situation. Play out the year, and if Dak disappoints, let him go. Play with a substandard quarterback next year. Suck. Get a top pick. Invest in the best college quarterback in the game and build that way. Because remember, if you sign a top quarterback in the NFL draft, you have really 4 years of very little money to pay to get that, to enjoy that. So maybe that's the answer. The 49ers, look what the 49ers did. They took Brock Purdy 2 years ago as the last player drafted, 7th round. Yeah. Mr. Irrelevant. Okay? Brock Purdy is making less than $1 million. And look what he's done the last couple of years with the 49ers. So eventually they're going to have to pay him. And probably $50 million plus is what he's going to make when his contract's up.
For all that he's accomplished, Patrick Mahomes is only the 11th highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
Purposely. He has taken less money.
Now that is a player that fans can appreciate.
Why did he take less money?
Because he wants to make sure that the team around him is good enough to keep winning.
He's got plenty of State Farm money coming in.
Yeah, he's
as far as endorsements
he is
go,
purposely taking a cut so that they can get better other players on his team.
Some players have done that over the years. This is not something that's new. Some players have taken less money to keep their team great. The Spurs did it for years with Tim Duncan, who took less money. Others say, nope, I want the most money I could possibly get, and that's your problem trying to build a team around me.
But when you're getting the kind of endorsement money that Patrick Mahomes gets,
yes.
I mean, your salary is kind of an afterthought, right?
No, I mean, you still don't want to be insulted and get no money.
But if he's willing
different.
to make the sacrifice,
yes,
I think fans got to love that, right?
Well, you got to understand something, Buzz. They have a chance to have a three-peat.
Yeah.
That's unprecedented.
That would have been just impossible to imagine.
And now it could be done. I mean, they're the favorites to win the Super Bowl this year. And it's because they've won the last 2 years. And they've kept the team intact. So, that's the other part of this whole thing is, could Dak have said, you know what? Instead of playing for $40 million, give me 25.
I don't see Dak on TV nearly as much as I see Patrick Mahomes in every commercial break.
Yeah,
he's got to be making more money than anybody else in the league on endorsements.
Look at what he's doing. I mean, he's the best quarterback in the NFL. They win Super Bowls. He's on a crazy career trajectory right now for his, early in his life where he could eventually surpass Brady if he keeps it up. So who knows? But yeah, there's a reason why Mahomes is on that career. And people like him. They like his voice. They like his personality, and he's a likable guy. Even though, I'll say this, there's a lot of people around the league that are tired of the Chiefs. They're tired, just like they got tired of Brady. They're tired
You're tired because your team's not winning Super Bowls.
Well, that's true.
If they're taking up all of them.
And they're tired of the Chiefs winning. And sometimes you want to see a different team win. But that's the reality is, Kansas City's done it the right way.
All right. Thank you, Cappy.
Is that it? We're on until 10:30, right?
Nah, I was just kidding.
Too bad.
Glenn's got to get in here. Come on.
All right.
And Nico, you want to tell us about your comedy show tonight?
Come on out to some comedy tonight, guys.
Is there a cover to get in for the comedy show?
So the first comedy show will probably have like a $5 cover. It's going to be 2 professional comedians I'll be hosting, and that's going to be about an hour.
Otis is a great
Otis
comic,
Hicks,
and Anthony
Bettis. But there might not be the cover. I'm still deciding on it.
Wait. This is your decision?
Oh, yes. Completely my decision.
Okay.
Okay.
It depends on how much I might need to pay them both. They're good friends of mine, so I'm not sure they'll give me too hard a time.
This is an interesting
high
business
level
model.
of professionalism. I agree.
So show up.
But then the open mic is after the professional.
Bring $5 with you,
just in case.
Just in case. Scenics, 4130 North Mesa, starts at 9:30. Come on out.
Have a great weekend, everybody. It's going to be hot, triple digits. Not much rain in the forecast. Maybe a spot or two here and there, but nothing that's going to interfere with your plans. Have a great one. And the next weekend, Cappy, 3-day weekend for Labor Day.
Can't wait.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk to you Monday. So long, everybody.
Well, that's it. Show's over.
What? We just started.
Yeah, well, the show's over.
That's the end.
That's not the end.
Why, yes, it is.
Right. That's the end.
And that's the end. That's the end.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show will be back Monday morning.
Hello, everybody. It's the weekend.